Hello there.
Hello.
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 Hello, guys. Oi.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, everybody.
All rise and like, subscribe, and bang the gavel, baby.
All rise. Order in the court, I say. Very loud in your courtroom, Mikey, if you can.
A little disruptive. We're going to get the bailiff on that. Take care of it quickly.
Thank you. Good to see everybody. Time for We Got a Case Tuesday edition. That doesn't mean anything, but it is Tuesday. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing good. We're doing better than these people because we're not in court.
And some of these people are having great days. I mean, before we go crazy, I want to show you something. I'm looking at the judge's quarters. You know, I'm expecting court, but yet, why did I get kicked out of court? Sorry, it must have been really loud. I got kicked out of the court on my other computer. Yeah, the judge is just sitting in chambers, and that's it. We're watching judge do like judge stuff. And I can't figure out why. Go on without me.
Okay. Great start. Is it going to be one of those days?
Seriously? It already is. It's already one of those days.
All right. Everybody jumping in. Appreciate you. If you're new here, slap a like on it. Please subscribe. Notifications on. We are not lawyers.
Even though we look like it. Don't let these books behind me fool you.
Angie's on time.
Well, you know it's one of those days if Angie's already here.
That's right. So we'll be jumping around to different live stuff. So we'll see what we can get into. I have no idea what's going on here, but we are in the city of Lacey. That much I do know. And of course, we'll try to be as quiet as we can be. It's not that easy for us.
Stephanie looking great, by the way. I don't think she's doing as well as we think she is.
I think that she's having problems breathing.
That's my choice for sure.
Good. All right.
I have a lot of people try to deter me from doing this, and I'm like, it's the best scenario for me. So,
really?
Well, people that quote unquote friends, Facebook.
The ones who want to keep you using and keep you intoxicated and keep you down.
Oh, is that the Facebook people do that?
Yeah.
I thought they just blocked you and were a-holes.
Because it makes it points out to them that things aren't so good in their life.
I didn't know that.
Don't let Facebook get you hooked on drugs, Creed.
Example and kind of go, if she can do that, maybe I can too. So just there are some folks that'll rise out. That'll be nice. All right. So now, the job is that you got to do the treatment program by the numbers, stay law abiding, stay
drug court.
Sober.
Hello, Jeanette.
Fines and fees and those.
Stop trying to make me smoke crack, Jeanette.
Jeanette over there on Facebook taking care of everything.
Yeah.
Not going to let
trying to get all our Facebook peeps hooked on drugs.
And then
you Facebook people.
Bam. Facebook trying to get me back on the drugs.
Everything that's going on. And,
how does that exactly work? Because I'm in between caregivers at the moment, and my new caregiver is supposed to start.
Say she was starting a new job.
I was just
government stuff,
getting ready to say that. What do you got? I've already had enough over here.
Even
First
if the state
appearances,
is able to meet
Credence.
that high burden of proof, you will have a right to appeal that conviction to a higher court within a set number
Judge
of days.
Joyce in the house.
Date. That, however, is the very end of the criminal process. Today is the very beginning. And again, all I'm going to do today is know why you were arrested and set bond if I am able to set bond.
Nice looking cast of characters there in the room.
Yeah, they got quite a few.
Do this. Let me go over bond considerations
2, 4,
first.
6,
Some of you
8,
have what we
10,
will have what we
11.
call superior court only bonds. Again, I cannot set bond on those cases. Others of you will get a UJR, which is an unsecured judicial release. That means that you will not have to pay any money to get out of
Michael's
custody
finger.
However, you will need to make sure we have a correct mailing address on file at the jail before you leave, so we can make sure you get notice of your next court date. If you don't show up to your next court date, you will end up with a warrant for your arrest.
Got a jailbird coming over to 3B here.
Thank you.
Is he getting kicked out of his house?
Good afternoon, Mr. Penn. We're on the record here. We are on the Zoom platform. We're live on YouTube, and this is the matter of People versus Dylan Benjamin Penn.
And live on We Got a Case.
Was
Mr. Middleton. Shout out.
charged with possession of methamphetamine and giving false information or resisting.
Got hooked on Facebook.
Police officer as a fourth habitual offender.
Facebook strikes again.
Last week, and Mr. Penn wanted a motion to reduce his bond. I denied the motion at that time, but continued it until today, until we completed either a waiver or preliminary examination.
Hello, Larry.
Your lawyer, Christine Cantu, is here once again, and Chief Assistant
Lies.
Prosecuting Attorney Joshua Robert is here. Christine advised me just before we came in, or just after we came in, that you waived the preliminary examination in this matter and are allowing the matter to be bound over to the circuit court. Is that correct, Mr. Penn?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
And Christine, that waiver is
Bless
in the
you.
works somewhere down at the prosecutor's
Yep,
office?
she gave it to me. I've signed it, and Tammy has it now.
Yes, Your Honor.
It has to go through several steps. All right. So we're going to revisit the motion for bond reduction.
I'm guessing we're better off
Aggressive manner
over
of
here.
Throwing objects around, anything that would make that.
She's still
person
giving
fearful that
instructions
they're
over
about
here.
to receive violent
Is she really?
consequences.
All right, wait till let's
I'm
see
waiting for
what
somebody to.
happens here.
Yeah, when they approach, I'll let you know. Nobody's approaching yet.
November 28th of 2021.
Hello, Haley.
Hey.
Very important day.
Oh, hey.
Sergeant Heath's birthday. And several others. Anyway, he got stopped in this case for some sort of traffic violation, allegedly gave false information to the officers.
Go get one of those brown bags, Nancy.
He
Just-
had an earlier charge of obstruction by disguise, which occurred on August 15th. When he got stopped for this case, they arrested him on the earlier obstruction by disguise, which is file 212186 SM.
disguise.
What was the
That matter
disguise?
is set for sentencing, I think, 31st.
He's being used hiding drugs.
And Luke Knopfinger is his attorney. The defendant pled to giving his brother's name or some sort of false disguise.
Carol.
So that
Where you going, Carol?
in August. He had not yet been arrested for that.
Hey, TK.
When he got stopped on November 28th, he again gave a false name, similar to what he had done in August, but this time they charged it as a felony. And then didn't actually get the warrant in this case until sometime later. And he got arrested on this.
We got our first person. If you want to jump to that.
He was
It's up to you.
also charged with domestic violence and disturbing the peace
Hang on just a second.
from an incident that occurred
I like his rap sheet, you know?
allegedly on December 28th.
I like that he keeps trying to do the same thing.
And
And it
he got
seems
arrested
to
for
not
that
work out
also
every time.
Never.
on this date.
Robert, thank you for the 500 stack. Our top sender of the week.
So he's pending sentence in the obstructing by disguise and something else for the 31st of
Somebody look that up and tell me what that is. Obstructing by disguise.
including the pretrial on April 22nd on the domestic assault charge.
Mm.
He's
Breaking
waiting
news.
him on this felony charge and had the matter
Is it
go
arresting?
to circuit court. Ms. Yancey, do you want to again make your motion for a reduction of bond?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Penn indicates to me that he would be living with a family member on 8th Street. I can give the court the
Nice.
actual address when we're not live on YouTube. That is a stable housing that he'd be able to be at. He does have the case resolved other than sentencing.
One of these days it'll work.
August matter.
You'll get it in a minute.
This has now been appointed on the new matter, the new misdemeanor matter, the 22949 SM. And I have all of Mr. Penn's contact information, including not only his phone number, but also
Bigfoot.
his mother's phone number. So I would ask Your Honor for a reduction in bond. He's asking for a PR bond. but
Poor
not
brother.
At least a 5,000 cash surety, 10%. He is able to post the bond on the.
Joke's on his brothers wanted by the FBI.
As well.
I know, Nancy. It's that I do wish they had like a more
Mr. Revere?
straight on shot, but
The court just gave a very
and that
thorough,
Judge Middleton wasn't here and everybody else.
everything that the defendant has going on. I don't think a bond reduction is warranted.
The bond is set in the amount of $30,000. The defendant has a lot of baggage, particularly for as young as he is.
How many cycles?
He is charged as having 3 previous.
How much you think they want it lowered down to?
You're
I'm
no
saying
longer
half,
in the circuit
15,000.
corporation, is that
Mm.
Correct?
Yes, sir.
Are you still on the registration list?
Yes, sir.
Are you properly registered?
Yeah, I think, sir.
I think. That's a good answer.
You were on a district court probation, and I think that got revoked. So you're not on probation in district court either.
I don't think I'm on
So-
type of provision, sir.
Drugs,
I couldn't find that you were.
domestic
And you mentioned
abuse.
Indiana stuff.
Yeah, I'm out on bond. That's why like all this
A
stuff.
lot
Keeps
of
using his
guys-
brother's name or trying to
on
disguise
March,
things.
Because that's when I posted the bond. And then, because I only thought that there was only one charge on it. Or else I would have stayed in Indiana and like, finished mine.
All right, so you're, what county, you told me this last week.
Range.
Range, on what charge?
Possession of meth. But I also, I got court the 28th there, and that's all I wanted to bond out so I could successfully like complete all my court stuff there.
One of the concerns is once we lose you, we may not get you back. So you bonded out from Indiana on March 4th,
Yes,
and then
sir.
they brought you directly to here on this charge?
Yes, sir.
So you have not been out of custody of LaGrange County?
Oh, sir. I got court the 28th of March.
Did you get arrested in the village?
You imagine,
I got arrested.
having to keep up with all these different charges in different counties and stuff too. That's where it's got to get tricky.
Oh, and probation in different places.
Did you have charges in any other county other than LaGrange?
No, sir.
When did you last work?
It's been a while, sir.
How long is that? 2 years.
Wow.
But I do have a job starting with one of my friends
Paper mill?
Tomorrow?
Where's that?
at Coachman.
Oh.
Plant 253.
Well, that may be a pie in the sky. Some of the plants are cutting back to 4 days a week and
Yeah.
other stuff. Anyway, it's been probably.
Apparently they work
years since
really
I
late at
worked.
night too.
He knows everything about that stuff.
Oh yeah. Because he was talking about the RV manufacturers.
You have to bond on the domestic
And they
violence.
work like really late
You have to
at
bond
night,
on
like the
the
late
other
night shifts.
case of
only.
Giving false information. You're on bond. in LaGrange
Yes.
County on a felony drug charge.
And for the first time in like a decade.
39 separate entries in our system.
Why not?
Alleged to have 3 previous felony convictions.
3. Okay.
And at least 2 of the cases involve methamphetamine.
Easily.
And 2 of the.
Oh, he's getting high as hell as soon as he gets out.
I understand that you would like to get the Indiana cases resolved. I don't know what they're gonna do with you. What we find from time to time is we let people out, they go to Indiana, Indiana does what they're gonna do, puts them in prison or
They're
gives
real
them a year's
close.
jail sentence, and
Across the
then
border.
we don't get them back.
They're hiding out in Indiana.
These cases are resolved, except this one. This is pending a trial in circuit court.
Be safe.
So I'm gonna leave the bond where it is.
Hello, Nina.
Nina.
How are
Pinta,
things with the
Santa
UK?
Maria.
Maybe the ticket is to get these cases resolved as soon as possible.
Jeff from Chicago.
To his credit, Luke Nossinger stopped in here to see me just before lunch and said, I'm representing Mr. Penn on the other false ID case. And if you want to sentence him this afternoon, I'd be willing to come and do it. Couple problems. It's in front of Judge Pattison. It's already set in front of Judge Pattison. I don't know anything about it.
I've seen a few cases here and there where judges can almost pass them off to other counties and just kind of like, okay, see ya.
It's your problem. Yeah.
Your problem.
That's the ticket. Both of your lawyers, I think, will be diligent in trying to get these cases resolved. I don't know if there's a potential settlement in the circuit court.
Paul.
Hey, Paul.
Trial.
Some nice looking brim you got there, bud.
I'm uncomfortable reducing the bond or doing a PR bond.
I don't know, but that's insane if you think.
Muskets.
So I'll move forward with the bond.
Hand packed.
Step.
There you go. That'll work, Cheech.
Mr. Gibson, what do we know about Mr. Rocket? Is he still
I
have
say-
both
I
examples?
guess that's it. Kind of an anticlimactic
He was like,
ending to that one.
sound like you got a lot of
$1,000
stuff
bond
going
on
on.
the possession of marijuana.
Keep an eye on what's
listed
going on
amounts
in 3B
and
and back to first appearances.
$1,500 bond on the possession with intent to distribute. So it'd be a total bond of $2,500.
Nowhere near the 30,000 that guy just had.
And no special condition.
Yeah, you say great. I say.
Give me 1 moment to add this to the system.
Hey, I appreciate it. Thank you, Mikey.
Mm.
This big boy coming up here now. With a nice looking shirt.
Okay, the next case I have is Mr. Garrison Coles. And Mr. Coles, you're represented again by the Public Defender's Office. They've indicated they've already had a chance to review the warrants with you prior to today's court date beginning. Therefore, they'll waive a formal reading of the particulars of the warrant into the record. You're here for possession of marijuana with intent to distribute, possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony, obstruction of law enforcement officers in case CL-22-0.
If you didn't have a gun, you'd be out right
I'm going
now.
to hear from your attorney about what he wants me to consider before I set bond. Counsel, you can proceed.
Yes, Judge. Mr. Coles is 21 years of age. He does live in Clarkston. He's been there since 2018 with his mother and father. Again, I've got good contact information for his girlfriend, his mother, and himself. He's a lifelong resident of Georgia. He was just hired last week. He's a manager at Jimmy John's. They're holding his job right now, but not sure if they will keep it much longer. Prior to that, he was doing private security, but he's been at Jimmy John's for about 1 week. Did go to Southwest DeKalb High School for the 11th grade, but he
He's been
signed
there
up
for
1
for
week,
GED
right?
school at
Yeah.
Georgia
Already a
Perimeter.
manager.
Do understand he has the one pending case, but I don't believe he has any
It is?
convictions. His biggest concern
We might have bought it
is
that way. I
getting
don't know.
out. He has 3 children who stay
It's
with
a
him.
fight, son.
4, 2 years of age and 9 months old. He's afraid right now of what's going to happen, trying to get out since he's the one with a stable job. Your Honor, we're going to ask for a UJR, but to be supervised by pretrial services with potentially a curfew or something like that. Maybe he can just only go to work, sort of like a house arrest situation, but without an ankle monitor. That's not something he can afford.
Thank you, and I'll hear from the state.
Thank you, Judge. As Mr. Mack mentioned, the defendant does have one pending case, a 2019 tampering with evidence, and that's pending out of the cab. In this case, Your Honor, there were 12 bags of marijuana, but at this time we don't have the amount that was involved.
12
there
bags
were
of marijuana,
A division of marijuana. The state's concern is the overlap between the possession of marijuana and the firearm in this case. However, we do acknowledge that the defendant does have a very limited criminal history. So we are requesting bond in the amount of $5,000.
Did she say it was an antique firearm?
Well, when you're only slinging pot, you don't really need.
He's got 12 bags of the pot. No, don't know how much is in these 12 bags. And he's carrying a musket. Go on.
$1,000.
Thank you. Give me one moment just to look over the warrants.
Well, she takes a moment. The state of South Carolina said that it spent $53,600 in renovations to the capital punishment facility at Broad River, which is in Columbia, just down the road. Although it remains an extremely rare method of execution, only Mississippi, Oklahoma, and Utah offer firing squad as an option for death row inmates since 1976.
I do want to make sure we're going over both cases today, correct?
Oh, give me
And
1
in
second. So there are
21,
2 cases, separate
our
cases on the
governor
calendar for him.
signed
Yes,
a
Judge.
bill
Okay, give me 1 second.
forcing
Go over
them
that
to
as well.
choose
So
which
we
manner they
have-
go.
I mean, we need to start, executing more people then. If we're going to
What
allow
position
all
is
this.
this other case?
Your Honor,
Apparently,
I believe that they're the
executions have
same
actually been
position,
held
but
up
in
for a
our
little bit.
files, they're divided as 2 separate cases.
That's crazy.
Okay.
So this guy's got more than
I
one
don't,
case
I don't
today.
think,
All right.
I don't think it's on the calendar.
Okay, I see. We don't have the other case number on the calendar, but he only has possession of marijuana with intent to
Ryan is
distribute,
very
possession of
handsome.
a firearm, and obstruction. He only has 3 separate
Okay.
charges, but the 3 charges are in
Sweet
2 separate
Virginia?
cases.
No, Judge, those are the one case. He has a separate warrant from last year. It's a criminal
Chris.
damage to property in the 2nd degree. That
Okay,
was
so-
just served on him.
Okay, Madam or Clerk, do we know the case number for that case?
Do not have it, Judge, but I will look it up. Please hold for me.
Thank you. So give us just one moment, you guys, so we can make sure we have a first appearance on all of his
Yeah, I mean,
matters. And just while we're doing that, let me
Yeah,
just
for a
make
week.
sure I'm clear with the state. The only thing you have on the record is the open 2019 tampering with evidence case, other than this open warrant.
That's it.
That's correct, Judge. That's the only thing that I show
A
in
lot of
his history.
downtime during those
Okay,
reenactments.
perfect. So
You
give
know,
us just a
12
second
bags
so
of
we can look at
pot.
all the cases.
Your Honor, that's oregano for the Jimmy John's Italian subs. They're going to hold his job, but not much longer.
Judge, that case number is 20.
Hold on 1 second. Let me switch screens. I can write it down. I apologize. Okay, you said, what is that case number again?
20-025379.
Mikey apologizes. Nancy.
379.
Yes,
Okay, thank you so much.
you're welcome.
Where
Give me
is
just
Lance
1
again?
second, you guys, to look over that case as well.
Personal security.
Is that Buster Rhymes with the yellow vest on?
It might be. Still got his Amazon vest on. Yeah, Christy, I'd rather just pretend it never happened.
Let's just move on, shall we?
Yeah, never happened. While they mess around there, we'll jump back to 3B. Got somebody new. Let's just see what's happening.
2021. The other case is file 211406FY. In that case, it's alleged that on or about June 5th, 2021, in Park Township, same place out on Parkville Road, the allegation is that count 1, you did make an assault on
Smoking
Christian
scam.
Carpenter with a dangerous weapon.
Court.
And that's your mother. Dangerous weapon was alleged to be a rifle. That is a felony punishable by up to 4 years in prison and a fine of up to $2,000. The second count is that you did carry or have in your possession a rifle while you are
Another one.
alleged to be committing a felony of felonious assault.
Uh-oh.
That is the felony firearm statute, which carries a mandatory minimum 2-year sentence preceding and consecutive to any other sentence. Also requires forfeiture of the firearm. Count 3 is a misdemeanor charge of domestic assault, alleging that you made an assault or assault and battery on Patricia Carpenter, your mother.
Not Patricia.
A misdemeanor punishable by up to 93 days in jail and a fine of up to $500. And that is charged as a fourth habitual offender. I'm advised that that is the case we're going to do first. We're going to start with a preliminary examination in that matter. Ms. Schaller, is that your understanding?
It is, Your Honor. As in regards to the second case, the deputies that were subpoenaed for this case here had a little confusion since it's a special prosecution. They called up and on the message said they were not needed.
I watch
So
more
they
of
took it as
Judge
they would not
Middleton
be
than
here
anything.
Here today, we did contact them. We do have them on their way. One is driving from Kalamazoo County.
Yeah, they got the message for the other cases.
Mhm.
All right.
Yep.
Okay, I understand how that happened. All right, well, let's start with the case we are ready on. Do you have an officer in charge there, Deputy Bingaman?
Your Honor, we just have the victim in this case.
Deputy
I believe
Damon.
That's all we will need to make all.
That's why that scanner was on.
That's why he's smoking and scanning in court.
Thank you. And Your Honor,
In Michigan.
before we begin, I just want to
The
let the court
hell?
know, as the proofs come out, I do believe that we will be asking for an additional 2 counts on this. One count being a possession of firearm by felon, which is MCL 250.
Yeah, can you go watch?
4F.
You know, like if you're a family member and
Firearm. I just wanted the court
they committed murder or something, can you go watch them be put
I
to
watched
death?
enough movies that, yeah, that's allowed.
Thought so.
The attorney
Are
just
we
left.
bringing in a cop?
I hope so. But watch the way she walks. She really swings her hips and hands.
Hey, Monica.
Hips and hands, everybody. Giving the credit where credit is due.
Yeah. Adding Knox into the name.
And Clay.
And Clay. 'Cause, you know.
Let's just keep adding names, shall we?
Thanks for the fake stars on Twitter. We don't get much or Twitch, sorry, whatever. Same thing. Just as bad.
Twitter, Twitch.
What are you eating?
Wendy's chicken nuggets.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Wow, they
You
were
ever
free.
look at that chicken. Don't. Ugh. There's the cross section.
That's
Thanks.
what everybody's here for.
They're so squishy. Can you bounce them off the floor like a bouncy ball?
No. Oh, she's back. And she brought a friend.
We walk the witness right up into the box.
Oh yeah, watch. Yeah, no doubt. I just tend, for some reason, to watch.
Good afternoon, Ms. Carpenter.
Good afternoon.
Ow.
Confirm any testimony you're about to give here will be true.
Hello, Cat.
What's going on?
All right, have a seat, and I'm going to ask you to state your first and last names for the record. Repeat that again. All right, thank you. Pull right up to the microphone. You have to speak up so we can hear everything.
Look who's talking.
Coin pushers
Go ahead and look that.
can't give money in South Carolina. They call that gambling. 100 of you here.
Sure, I'm gonna
Welcome.
Talk to you from over here. Can you hear me from here? Sure. Okay. All righty. I want to ask you a few questions first. Okay. I want to bring your attention back to June 5th of 2021. Do you recall that day?
Oh wow,
Did you contact
got
deputies
some
on that day for any reason?
real court going on here in 3B.
Mm-hmm.
Right, I did on the 5th.
You contacted deputies on the 5th. Okay. And when you contacted those deputies, where were you located that time?
I was across the street at the neighbors.
At the neighbor's house? What's the address of your neighbors?
51296.
Okay. And what county is that in?
Thank you.
In the state of Michigan? Okay. And why did you contact deputies on that day?
I had first just got a ride to after the incident on the 3rd.
Okay, let me kind of stop you up real fast then, okay? Let's, I guess, back it up until on June the 3rd.
A little condescending.
You just
Tiny
mentioned an
bit.
incident that occurred that day. Can you tell us about that incident?
Yes, I had gone outside and had a confrontation with my son.
Okay, and who is your son?
Paul Rock.
Okay, do you see Paul Rocca in this courtroom today? Can you please point him out and
Right down there.
Okay, Your Honor, please let the record reflect that she has in fact identified the defendant.
Yay! Good job.
Way to pick out your son out of a lineup.
If his mother doesn't know him. Nobody does. Except I should identify them.
No,
Exactly.
we'll kind of start back up. You said you had an argument with your son. Is that correct? Okay, and what happened with that argument?
We're talking about June the 3rd?
June the 3rd, yes.
We were discussing his dog's health. I wanted to take him to
Okay,
and he disagreed.
Damn dog.
okay, and what happened after that disagreement?
But, yeah, I told her that he shot from the room or after I got up and started walking to the house.
Okay, now you stated he knocked you down. How exactly did he knock you down?
With his hands.
Pushed from the back.
Pushed you from behind? Okay, and where were you located at that point in time?
About 20 feet away from the pole barn.
Okay, and the pole barn, is that at your house? What's your address?
51375.
Okay, and is that here in the county of St. Joseph? And state of Michigan as well? Okay, so you stated that he knocked you down. What happened once you got knocked down?
I either got other witnesses that.
Objection, Your Honor.
Hearsay.
Ms. Carpenter, don't say what somebody else told you. Just testify as to what you remember about what happened.
I remember being down on the ground.
Okay.
Yeah, when I got up.
I know, I thought that too.
Yeah.
Okay, and what led you to, what gave you the impression that he shot?
The gun was very loud.
So you heard the gunshot? Okay,
Now,
and
stop. You cut her off.
Thank you, Dina, for the 200 stars on the Facebook.
The gun was smoking.
now, Ms. Carpenter, if you
Scam.
could explain for us, you said you heard the gun go off and it was really loud. How close in proximity do you think you were to that gunshot?
It didn't happen, Nathaniel.
Winning me back over.
Okay, so very close. Okay, now, what were you doing at the time that the gun went off?
I was either walking, my recollection, I got up and walked.
Okay, where were you walking to?
Towards the barn, direction point.
Okay, did you ever turn around at any point?
Just when I went up to the barn on the sidewalk.
Okay, and when you turned around, what did you see?
Well, as I turned to walk towards the house, I was in. Backside the.
I
Okay,
mean,
and
we
you said you didn't see
can.
him. Are you talking about your son, Paul? Okay, and
We
did
usually
he have anything
do.
in his hands at that time?
And he wasn't doing anything earlier.
Had a rifle in his hands? Okay, can you describe the rifle that you saw?
Camo.
Camo, is that like the base of the rifle? Okay.
Did he hit her though? That's my question. I mean,
Well, the thing went off.
What did you do after the shot?
misfire.
Basically.
Went in the house
Okay,
and called around for my daughter to pick me up,
okay,
which she did. And she put me overnight.
Okay.
And brought me back to the house to pick up some things.
okay. So she brought you back to the house on what day?
On May 4th.
The 4th? Okay, so the next day after this incident took place? Okay, and then what happened at that point in time?
Stop bullying.
When she brought me back for my things, she did let me.
Okay,
We're kidding, by the way.
So at that
Hey,
point,
voice is scary.
Over to the next door neighbors at 51290.
Okay.
And stayed there. And from there, I went to a shelter about 3 or 4 days later.
okay. So
She
in
left the house?
span of things, I know we've talked about on the 3rd, the 4th, and the
He did
5th.
have the pee-pee cream.
What prompted you to call the deputies?
I needed him to be picked up.
Okay, were you fearful at all?
No.
Yeah.
Yes.
One
Perhaps.
second here, okay?
Yeah, that is kind of important.
Yeah, Judge Simpson has a criminal docket today.
Now, Mrs. Carpenter, I don't have any more questions. Defense counsel might have some for you,
Nothing's
okay?
really going on right this second, so we'll stay.
All
right
right,
here.
so it appears the complaint charges this as June 5th, but the actual date is June 3rd.
Yes, Your Honor, on or about June 5th. The phone call to deputies was on the 5th, and I could amend the complaint to include June 3rd to the 5th if the court would look like.
All right, we'll see how things develop. Ms. Carpenter, this is Mr. Gibson. He's representing Paul in this matter. and he has some questions for you as well. You're still under oath.
Oh, here we go.
Mr. Gibson?
He's the one with the slicked back hair and has a voice that's
So
like
my
that.
understanding of your
You remember?
testimony is that
Yes.
you indicate that the incident that you referred to, apparently that happened on the 3rd. And then did you report it to the police on the 5th?
You're welcome.
So is it correct to say that you didn't report the incident for approximately 2 days?
Yes, I called around and I got a ride to my daughter at my house that day, right after.
Is your daughter an attorney or a cop?
And she brought me back the next day. Pick up things, but things were left there.
I mean, that's a great way to start
So-
right there.
Mine would have been, did he shoot you, ma'am?
Third, do you remember what type of a day that was?
What type of a day? What do you mean? Sunny? Run out and get a pack of smokes. Piglet Wiggly.
Overcast.
And so about what time did this incident happen? Late afternoon? Well, when you say probably, I understand that you can't give me the exact time, but
You ought to see him with his hair
do
down.
you remember at least?
Love
was
it.
Late afternoon, or are you saying that it might have been?
Most likely, like shortly afternoon, because I was trying to persuade him to put this.
Can you speak up, sir? I mean, ma'am.
Was his dog sick?
Oh, it was that kind of a day. So it was pooping everywhere?
So had the dog been in some type of an accident?
Yes.
Just a minute, Mr. Gibson.
Hey, Delcy.
Chance to talk with your lawyer, but right now he's examining the witness.
Yes, a neighbor ran over and tell us for about every hour.
Okay.
The neighbor ran over the
And
dog.
so this
What kind of
was
dog
something.
was this?
What kind of dog was it? So
Sweet-
how did it
sweet
come
Rottweiler.
to your attention that the dog was injured? Did you discover it, or did someone tell you?
No, the guy that ran over him told us about an hour later.
Did this person, how did they inform you? Did they come over? Did they call? What did they do?
I wasn't aware that would be a question for the phone.
Oh, okay.
Just give me a heads up. I ran your dog over.
How long had Paul had that dog?
Approximately 12 years.
Are they gonna?
So,
are they ramping up
at
to like
some point
he
in
went crazy
time,
because his dog got ran over, basically?
Apparently, Paul and you were not in agreement over whether the dog should be taken to the vet then? Is that what the disagreement was over?
Correct. I believe
Oh.
that
Oh.
Cantu was on the first. And I've been asking to
Sure.
take him to the vet.
But it's his dog. If he doesn't want to take it to the vet, she does understand that, right?
I mean, the dog gets run over by
So
a
then-
car. It should go to the vet. I mean,
Paul didn't want the dog to go to the vet. You did. So you described being pushed. Where were you then when you were pushed, did you claim?
He refused to go to Jackson Hospital.
I don't think they said yet.
Yeah.
Okay, and you were in a driveway, is that right? What?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I was.
And were you closer to the street or were you closer to?
Hey, Ulysses.
As far as
Good to see you, buddy.
what part of the driveway?
The home sits 4 acres back from the road.
So were you more toward the road or were you more toward the home?
What kind of day was it, ma'am?
Maybe the dog was so hurt
So
he felt like it'd be a waste of
you
time.
were walking back toward the home, correct?
Yes.
And then you're saying
Objection, relevance.
something pushed you from behind,
It was the dog.
so they pushed you in the back.
The neighbor.
But you were facing your home, right?
Are we going to say she didn't see who pushed her?
It looks that way.
So
Come
although
on,
you were
Paul.
pushed, is it correct to say that you didn't actually see this person push you because it was to your back, so you just felt it? You didn't see it?
Mystery assailant.
But as I rounded to the sidewalk towards the house, I could see him walking away back to the truck.
So when you
Not
were
yet,
pushed,
Sergeant.
did you hear anyone say anything?
I don't remember.
So are you saying that at some point after you were pushed and you were on the ground, you're saying you saw the defendant walking?
No.
Thank you for the 5 bones.
I got up and walked to the house.
Okay.
I agree.
And you saw him where?
As I turned to the way the house left, I could see him. There's purple vision. Walking back to the truck.
And how far away was he from you?
Is that a fart?
And it's a hand attacking
No.
mom.
This, Carpenter, you're gonna have to keep your voice up. I'm right next to you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge. Speak up.
Okay, so I just want to make sure I have it correct.
Say that you had to speak up, buddy, Paul.
You feel a push from your back. You fall to the ground.
Ronnie?
Then you get up.
Uh-huh.
And while you're getting up, in your peripheral vision, you could see the defendant, and you think that he was approximately 25 to 30 feet away from you.
This was after the gunfire.
He has very long arms.
So
You just turned into Ham Hands Bill, huh?
when you were pushed and you first were on the ground, is that when you're saying you then also heard the gunfire?
I got up to walk into the house and heard the gunfire.
Okay, so when you heard the gunfire, in which direction were you looking?
Towards the barn.
Is there only one barn on the property?
Yes.
So what did it sound like to you then?
No, just really long hair. Beautiful hair.
Flowing mane.
Did it sound like
Pew pew.
that you were, in a sense, very close to somebody who was firing a gun? Is that what you're saying it sounded like?
I believe so. I don't know how far he was behind. He was on the ground. Basically. I got up and then went around. Caught sight of him.
Keep whispering, Mom.
So when the gun would have been fired, you didn't see the defendant, correct? So although you can strike that, I understand that, strike that. You did not see
Strike that.
a gun
You.
in the defendant's hand and hear it be fired, correct?
I was facing away from it, walking towards the barn to get to the house. As I turned, I saw him going back to the truck.
But when the rifle actually made the sound that sounded like it was being discharged, you were not looking at the defendant, correct?
No.
So I understand that you could surmise, or in your
Oh, that sounds like
your
fun.
thought process is that
Blast.
the defendant fired the gun, but I guess you did not witness him fire the gun, correct?
She had her back turned like that.
Yes.
No time for anybody else, I believe. Distance before that I'm gonna be handed off to somebody else.
Yes, and Delcy, he likes to educate some people on his favorite bands and songs. I love it.
With a lot of weeds and trees.
Not where that, yeah. where
Hands are the hardest thing to draw.
there, but it's heavily wooded lot, but it's open by the house.
It was the devil.
2 trees in the back.
Welcome, Loud.
So, but it is a heavily wooded lot.
Anybody could have been hiding behind those trees, right, ma'am?
Have you known
Hunter.
neighbors to do target practice in the area?
Oh man.
Wow, we're really reaching.
Grasping Creed.
Oh my God, this is great.
Hunt in that area during
Look, there's my hunting theory, Creed.
You got it.
Sorry to get that. Yes.
So in June, when this occurred, was the defendant living in the same household as you?
Yes.
Has he been in jail since June?
Yeah, I think they said that.
Wow.
I want to stick with this, right? I'm kind of invested.
We're vested now. We're too deep.
So when you heard the loud sound that you believed was a gun being shot,
Pew pew, Paul, please.
from what you heard, do you feel like you felt just one shot, or do you think it might have been multiple shots?
Was it a double shot? Double shot Wednesday.
So the one shot that you thought you heard, as soon as you heard it, how did you feel?
Threatened.
So
Thank you, Dana.
Did you believe that whoever had pushed you had also somehow fired this shot to scare you?
As outlandish as this is, it's pretty good. I can't wait to see.
I was surprised he didn't say, was it cloudy? Maybe it was thunder you heard.
The defendant say anything at that point in time that you heard?
Are you near a highway? Did a truck tire pop? I'll BRB.
Go ahead.
Do you remember when you say late afternoon for the time that this occurred? Can you give me more of I don't know exactly what you mean by that. I mean, if you had to estimate the closest hour, I mean, are you talking about 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 5 o'clock?
We're gonna rock around the clock tonight.
Okay. So it would have been around 1 or 2 in the afternoon. So would it have been during daylight hours then, obviously? Yes. Okay. Do you remember what the weather was like that day?
Nope.
For example, was it raining?
But it wasn't raining.
It was. Do you remember if it was sunny or cloudy or?
Are we gonna use my thunder?
Sure. It wasn't raining.
The charges is that he assaulted her and shot at her, knocked her down, then shot. She didn't see him do either.
Was Paul crying when he found out that the dog was run over?
Objection, Your Honor, relevance at this point in time. I think we're getting a little bit far away from the actual occurrence.
Just a minute. Mr. Gibson, what's the relevance of that?
Well, the defendant, it sounds like there had been an accident. So the defendant sounds like he was, all the parties, I'm assuming, were upset. So I'm trying to figure out what the state of mind of everyone was.
All right, well, I guess I can accept relevance if we're talking about what's going on at this time here, not when the dog was hit. So in this time with the gun and that time, you said Paul was upset. Was he crying?
I wasn't there when the guy that ran over him, so I don't know. But I'm very sure he was upset.
All right, but okay.
So how about just before you felt your back being pushed. When you last had saw Paul at that time, was he crying?
I don't remember that. I don't believe he was.
Judge is getting emotional about it.
Was there anybody else there that day that might have seen this situation where the gun was fired and you were pushed? Was there anyone else that could have seen this?
Nick, and I don't know his last name, or his girlfriend Adrian. I don't know either of their last names.
Now, are these people that live nearby?
Yes.
So are you saying they may have seen it just because they live nearby or because you actually saw them in the woods that day?
They were out with Paul.
They were
Okay.
hunting.
It was Nick and Adrian?
Yes.
You don't know their last names?
No. Because I don't recall it, but
Judge Milton's about had all this he can take here in a second. He's on snap.
both were supposed to turn in statements.
Do you know if they had rifles with them or firearms with them?
I just don't, never seen them.
So where, strike that. You said that you saw the
Objection.
defendant with a firearm that was camouflage colored. Was this a long gun or a pistol?
Long gun.
Would it be the type of gun that's used for hunting?
Maybe. Or fun.
Hatchet.
Can't any gun be used? I mean, if you be used for hunting?
Paul, did you know him to have a firearm?
He is. I think he closed his eyes.
Was it the same one then you thought you saw that day?
Yes.
Oh, where am I?
Did he keep that in the home?
Yes.
Do you know where it normally would be in the home? Are you 100% certain that it's, I guess you could say, a hunting rifle, or could it possibly be a pellet gun or a BB gun or
If
an
that
airsoft
close.
gun? Are you aware that it? Are you 100% certain that it was not one of those types of guns?
I believe it was a 22.
22.
How did he miss her from so close?
That you didn't see him come from the back, and
Have you
the
seen Paul shoot that
the hunting
firearm
is-
before that
it's
particular day
great.
that this incident happened?
Vinny, that's great, by the way.
Had you ever seen Nick and Adrian target shoot out in the woods there?
No.
No. Had you seen anyone else target shoot in the woods there?
You're under oath. Well,
we're
waiting.
Oh my gosh. Strike that. Did you hear him ask about the weather?
Yeah, finally. I mean, he tried to ask that in the beginning, but
He doubled back. What's the weather
wait
like?
till she stands up and starts. She gets a chance, right, to
Well, she's
blow
already
this all apart.
She's already talked to. I mean, she may cross-examine her again.
I would think so.
What type
What
of,
gun expertise do you have?
strike that. Are you aware,
Mr. Gibson.
strike that. Would you say that your relationship as being Paul, brother, that you have a fairly good understanding of his mental health history and state of
Objection,
mind?
Your Honor, relevant to this point in time.
Mr. Gibson?
Uh-oh.
Well, again, I'm trying to figure out the people's state of mind as far as a potential defense of duress or other type of.
Insanity plea. Here we
sounds
go.
like it was in a very emotional situation. A dog was hit by a car. And so I'm just trying to figure out if she has a good understanding of,
He's been in for
you know,
since June.
how the defendant. would
He's
typically
doing his
react
job. I'll
to
give him
something
that.
like
I'll allow it.
They have a good relationship. They work together a
Paul
lot.
was under
You know,
stress because he was upset about his dog. And the question is, as his mother, would you know how he would react to something like that?
He would take it very hard.
He'd take it real hard.
To your knowledge, does your son have any type of depression or suicidal
Objection,
history?
Your Honor, relevance.
oh, she was quick on that, huh?
I understand where defense is going with this, but that is also a matter for circuit court.
Uh-oh.
Yes, I'll allow it, but I'll ask it myself. Are you aware that your son has had some struggles with depression and mental health?
Mm.
We'll just limit it to that.
You wanted to make sure that got in there, huh?
It really did.
I have no further questions, Your Honor.
Mr. Carpenter, I just have a few follow-up questions for you, okay?
Yep, there she
I
comes.
know we just talked about a lot of things, so I want to kind of hone you back in on a couple different areas of this, okay? So when you were out in the driveway and you got pushed from behind, okay, we already went over your back was turned to your son
Sure.
at the time. Was there anybody else in that general vicinity that could have pushed you?
I believe they were up in the truck also, but again, it was spaced out.
Okay, so at the time you were pushed though, when you started to walk away from your son, was he the only one in that general vicinity within an arm's reach?
Yes.
Okay, and when the gun got off or went off, were you ever struck with the bullet or anything? No, are you aware if it came close to you by any means?
Real close to my ear.
Okay, close to your ear, were you able to hear
Sound.
it through your ear? Were you able to feel any effects from that? Scared, okay, alrighty.
She heard the gun. Of course it's loud. Can we ask Mom if she's ever had any history of those things?
How long did all this take place? From the time that you were pushed on the ground to the time of the gunshot? Can you give me an estimate of how long that took?
Probably within 10 to 15 minutes of consultation about the confrontation.
Okay, so is that from the very beginning of the argument until the end? Okay, so let's narrow it down to just from the time that you were pushed.
I
okay?
believe so, yeah.
From the time that you were pushed, you stated you got off the ground and started walking to the home and then you heard a gunshot. How quickly was that? Was that a pretty narrow time frame?
I don't think I got a couple steps away.
Okay, and then when you turned around, how quickly after that, after you heard the gunshot, when you turned around and you saw the gun in your son's hands, how much time had passed at that point?
Probably about 20 steps to turn the sidewalk. To
Time.
Okay.
20 steps.
She
Half a
measures
cigarette.
time.
We're talking seconds, not minutes or anything? Okay.
Half a
And
cigarette.
you stated there was no other time for anybody else to have handled the gun? Okay, thank
How
you.
long since you had a job, ma'am? Oh, at least 18,000 steps.
I just want to try to clarify then what you had just testified to. So I just want to make sure I'm understanding you correctly. So as you were walking toward you were walking in one direction.
Great band.
Said you heard what sounded like a gun go off. And then you said at some point then you turned and you saw Paul, correct?
I walked. We had our confrontation of the dog.
The dogfortation.
Pushed down. And it was very short, 20 steps at best to get to turn to the house. And he was walking back to the truck.
I'm trying to figure out how long was it after you heard what you thought sounded like a gunshot until you say you saw Paul with your own eyes?
As I was trying to getting up, and I heard the gun.
21 steps.
And, like, it doesn't take long to take 20 steps and turn right to see him walking back to the truck.
So why did you wait
effing lawyer
You
coming in with
walked
the
20
facts.
steps
I
before you
love it.
Turned to look.
Keep it up. Thank you.
Immediately after it was done.
Then you started to walk.
I got up as soon as I could get moving. And then went up. Very close.
And you continued to walk when the gun went off?
Yes.
Even faster.
And so you walked 20 steps and then you turned and you saw Paul?
I could see him out of peripheral vision as I was turning, walking back.
If it was out of your peripheral vision, would it have been to your right or to your left?
Left.
Okay. And how far away was he from you when you saw him with your peripheral vision?
20 steps, maybe.
Probably about 15, 20 feet.
Okay.
Give me 20 steps. Give me 20 steps, Paul.
He's a 2-minute walk away from me.
So you're saying, you also testified that you said you felt something when the firearm, you thought that a firearm went off and you said did you feel something or hear something aside from a loud noise?
Heard it during.
So you heard a loud noise from a gun that you thought was a gun. Did you hear you heard? You're saying another noise that was different than the loud noise?
Not that I
Okay. I have no further questions.
Your Honor, I have no further questions for this witness.
Thank you. Ms. Carpenter, you can step down. Would you please escort her out?
Effing lawyer, we're here every day from 1 to 3. Please come back.
Please.
Because we're idiots when it comes to court and law. And little sidebar between the two.
Do, 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 do. Mom stops, gives her son a nice big hug and kiss. You did great.
Anything further?
I have no further witnesses, Your Honor. I have a certified judgment of conviction, felony, out of Van Buren County. I have showed a defense and have it entered into proofs for today.
Thank you.
He really did kind of make something out of nothing, though. You got to give Paul Gibson a little credit on that. I mean,
It is a certified copy of the conviction for Van Buren County, file number 01012266FH on charges of home invasion, first degree, and breaking entry. Paul Thomas Rocca. That is a record of a felony conviction from Van Buren County. That is admitted as plaintiff's exhibit.
always good when you can just submit evidence like that. You don't even have to say anything, and it just kind of like,
She shoots, she scores.
Yeah, without even really having to say anything. There you go.
Anything further, Ms. Schaller?
I have no further proofs, Your Honor.
Mr. Gibson?
Awesome. Thank you.
Heck
The
yeah,
defense
man.
has
Welcome.
no proofs.
Arguments?
Thank you, Your Honor. At this time, Your Honor, I believe that the people have met their burden for counts 1 through 3. In addition to that, Your Honor, I believe the people have met their burden for an additional count 4 for possession of firearm by felon, as well as count 5, felony firearm in that matter. We heard testimony today from Patricia Carpenter, who is the defendant's mother. She was able to testify to identifying him in open court today. You heard testimony that she was shoved from behind. The only person in that general vicinity that could have shoved her would be her son, Paul Rocca, the defendant. At that point in time,
Straight to the
during
point.
this argument, once she was pushed to the ground, getting up, going to the house, she heard a gunshot. She believes it was in her general vicinity. She testified that she was scared. This gunshot came from a rifle that she did see in the defendant's hand as well, which is a dangerous weapon. For purposes of intent, Your Honor, since the difficulty of proving an actor's intent of mind, minimal circumstantial evidence is sufficient to prove that. I believe here today, Your Honor, we can show the proof of intent due to the argument that pursued prior to any sort of altercation. physical altercation between the two. There was a shoving as well as then the gunshot followed up right behind that, Your Honor. I believe with the assault taking place with the rifle, as Patricia Carpenter testified that she was terrified at that point in time. Count 1 is satisfied, as well as count 2, as the felony or firearm was used during the commission of such act. For count purposes of count 3, Your Honor, since it is a misdemeanor, we don't have to put proofs, but I will say that Ms. Carpenter did testify to the pushing being a domestic assault with her son being the defendant. And as well, Your Honor, there is proof today that the defendant is a convicted felon. Therefore, he is unable to possess firearm. There was testimony today that the witness did see the firearm in the defendant's possession. And being such, Your Honor, that being a felony, as well as the felony firearm, to tack onto that as well, he used a firearm in commission of the possession of firearm or felon. So we would ask that you do bind over in counts 1 through 3, as well as the additional counts 4 and 5. Thank you.
Mr. Gibson?
As you can see, we are not lawyers.
Thank you.
Never even been to court.
The defense would like to point out.
Stayed at a
that
Holiday Inn Express
we did
once.
hear testimony from a witness, but she was not able to say that she actually saw the defendant fire a gun. She was not even actually able to say that she saw the defendant push her. She described circumstances that could give one, I suppose, a circumstantial evidence.
Not one word about the
that
dog.
Oh,
Paul possibly could have been the one who fired the gun. Paul possibly could have been the one that pushed her.
Family.
But do we have enough here to establish probable cause? And I will leave that in the court's discretion, but I just wish to point out that there are obviously some evidentiary points that are lacking.
Strike that.
Because
Evidentiary.
What about her waiting 2 days to report it?
Do these things. She just described a circumstance where
Yeah.
she didn't.
I'd be driving that a little more.
To believe that anyone else could have done this, and so she concluded that this was done by Paul Rocca. Thank you.
Hey, that's a good point. I didn't even think about it that way.
Your Honor, I would just note that for today's purposes, for being a probable cause exam, I believe that people have met their burden. I do believe that some of the issues that defense has brought out are obviously issues for the trier of fact, which would be in circuit court.
And that's a good point. I was going to explain a little of that to Mr. Rocca. Mr. Rocca, this is a preliminary examination.
We don't know if it's
dead.
dead.
You're not going to be found guilty or not.
I'm going with yes.
Me too.
You've had a preliminary examination before. In the past, I've conducted 1 or 2 where your mother was called to testify.
Please.
But the standard is quite low. It's a probable cause standard. So I have to find probable cause that a crime was committed. Been fighting that all afternoon. Excuse me.
Oh, that's a good one.
And probable cause that you did it. So both are relevant here.
I'm pretty fancy. I
Let's
have
talk
an
about
actual box of
Is there probable cause to believe that you did it? The answer is yes. You were in a heated discussion or argument with your mother about your dog, and you were under some stress because your dog had been injured. And you were the one that was there. You were the one that was in the argument. You were the one that was in close proximity to her. You were the one that was in a disagreement with her, and she got pushed from behind. Now, that's not a felony. That's a simple domestic violence, but it leads to what happens next. So she's on the ground, and then she hears a gunshot.
Love that, Flusha.
So there's probable cause to believe that you're the person that pushed her. There's probable cause to believe that you're the person that fired the gun. She describes the gun. She knew it was yours. It's a .22 caliber firearm. It's a
Him
rifle.
being a convicted felon already too doesn't help with him
She
having a
turns and
firearm.
sees you
No.
holding the gun immediately after it was fired, within a few seconds.
He usually always does.
There's probable cause to believe that you did possess the firearm. Question is, the felonious assault charge. did make an assault upon Patricia Carpenter without intending to commit the crime of murder or inflict great bodily harm. Assault is an impermissive touching or intention to put somebody in fear of immediate battery. So I can't tell from the testimony whether you shot it in the air, you shot it sideways, you shot it into the ground. But there's probable cause to believe that you shot it. Now, let's see what else there is. Apparently you were quite close, within a few steps.
20.
And
20
it was
to be
quite
exact.
close to her, your mother. Her testimony was she felt it was quite close. She didn't hear a separate sound of the firearm breaking the bullet whizzing by or breaking the sound barrier or going through her ear. I had a witness that sat in that chair once. He had a large afro. He said he could feel the bullet go through his hair, which it in fact had done. But we don't have that here.
Like a hot knife through butter.
Say, on cross-examination, the witness said, I'm struggling with this on direct because I couldn't find it, but she said, he pushed me and I believe he shot to frighten me. And I was frightened. And that's an assault with a weapon to frighten or intimidate somebody in an immediate battery.
Will Patricia forever wonder if her son tried to shoot her?
Would be probable cause to believe that that is
Well, I mean, the court will tell her.
assault with intent to commit. Assault with a dangerous weapon. A gun certainly qualifies as a dangerous weapon. So we have probable cause to believe that you had the gun, which would also include felon in possession of a firearm. We have probable cause to believe that you fired the gun and that it was with the intention to frighten or intimidate or scare your mother. She was frightened, intimidated, and scared, and it was in very close proximity. So I do find there's probable cause to believe that a crime was committed. Then the felony firearm attaches to it. It's a firearm used in commission of a felony, felonious assault.
Oh boy.
The next count would be count 3, which would be felon in possession of a firearm. And as I'm sitting here right now, I'm not sure that felon in possession of a firearm, felonious assault attaches to it. Felonious assault doesn't attach to carrying a concealed weapon, but the contention is it does attach to felon in possession of a firearm. And I'll allow it. I guess it can be a motion to quash if it does not attach to that offense. But felony firearm is not attached to carrying a concealed weapon. It attaches to any other number of felonies. It easily attaches to the felonious assault. I don't know why they need 2, but I will grant the second count of possession of firearm during the commission of a felony for that offense. And then count 5 would be the domestic violence charge. All right, let's take a recess. Why don't you let Mr. Rock go back and use the restroom, and then we'll shut this record off and decide what we want to do on our next case.
Well,
Madam Prosecutor, I ask you to file an amended information in this case reflecting the charges. Do you want this back?
I was gonna say, I will be, if we run the next one, I'll use that again.
that was pretty interesting there.
Yeah, he's definitely when she come in with the stuff about his felony cases he's already had against him, I was like, okay, well that changes everything, because he's got the pew, he's got the assault, he's already on probation for this and that, so that's why he's been sitting in jail since June.
Yeah, that's a lot of different things happening there. Keep an eye. I don't know if they'll come back.
Device.
I'll keep an eye
The
out for it.
declaration here today basically says you don't have one to drive And so you cannot really provide proof of compliance of putting ignition interlock in a vehicle within 5 business days, which is the court's order. But again, just to be very clear, signing
Wow,
the
5
declaration
days.
doesn't mean that you don't have to have ignition interlock anymore. You still have to have ignition interlock in any vehicle that you drive, okay? But your attorney's indicated to go over the declaration with you, which I will read to you, ma'am, and if you are agreeing to it, I can acknowledge it via Zoom.
From
for
watching
you.
enough of these, I've
The
noticed
declaration
each
states that
state
you
has
understand the court has
completely different
ordered you
rules when
to
it comes
have
to
an
these
ignition
drunk
interlock
driving
device installed on all motor vehicles you drive.
Yes.
And you're agreeing to that restriction. You understand that you are
I'd imagine
prohibited
they
from driving any motor
fines are all
vehicle
over the place
without
too.
an ignition interlock device. You will not drive any motor vehicle without an ignition interlock device while the restriction is ordered by the court and is in effect. Do you agree with that, ma'am, under penalty of perjury?
Yes.
Okay, so we will fix your signature via Zoom. Do you have any questions regarding your release conditions or your next court date?
So her excuse basically is, I don't have a car, Your Honor, so I can't.
Okay,
I
and I
can't be
do not have
monitored.
an email, Mr. Sutanto. Do you have an email for Ms. Kirsten?
I did provide it to Ms.
Okay. So you guys are ahead of me here. I'm not catching up to you. Okay, so Ms. Kirsten, I will send this to you via email if that's okay with you. So you'll receive all this information. Again, you will need to contact pretrial services within 24 hours and get set up on that administrative level of check-ins. And you are authorized to do the UAs in your county of residence, but you're going to have to provide proof of those to pretrial services. Okay.
Has Brandy been drinking
If any
today? She's got a
questions,
little
ma'am, please
glassy eye
contact your
looking.
attorney and we will see you in May. Thank you very much,
Might,
ma'am. You may disconnect.
Mixed in a few toddies this morning.
She has nothing to say.
Okay, and then Mr. Zababurin qualified, and Mr. Sutanto, let me put you into a breakout room with him. Give me just a second here.
For Your Honor. I just need a brief moment with Mr. Zababurin.
Okay.
No. May what? May.
Uh-oh.
Is Kirsten?
Does she not know the phone's still on?
She muted. She's muted.
Ms. Kirsten, you're muted. Do you have a question for the court?
It's you, Brandy.
You said May. You didn't say what date.
The date is May 4th at 8:30.
What are you talking about?
Thank you.
She puts the phone down, you see a beer sitting there.
Thank you.
I'm drunk as a skunk.
How do I leave this fucking thing, man?
Yeah, baby, get it.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Class act.
Drunk as a skunk.
Okay, I'm going to take a brief recess.
She's a lady.
About 5 minutes.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
All right, she's going to recess. We are going to jump over to Cook County Courtroom 700.
Once again, the communication process is broken down.
You to reconsider your ruling, and I'm asking you to grant my motion to dismiss count 1 of the pending indictment against Mr. Hawkins.
Judge, we have had multiple and extensive arguments. I
Yeah.
appreciate Ms. Smallwood repeating those arguments in many ways and reiterating those.
Yeah, you're not telling me anything you haven't already told me, Courtney, but go ahead. Please respond.
Right, Judge. So, Judge, we will keep it at our written response.
Might be right, man. Kid.
We believe Your Honor did make the proper finding, relying on the People v. Richardson case in this matter. Your Honor does have discretion to consider that case and made the proper ruling. We would respectfully ask Your Honor to deny the motion to reconsider and continue the case moving forward.
Anything else, Courtney?
No, Judge, I'll rest on the remaining arguments that were contained within the written motion.
This is let's call it a fluid area of the law, because we have some changing laws, and the question is, how do we apply laws and how they're applied retroactively and what they should mean. In this context, we're talking about what are proper predicate offenses for the armed habitual criminal to be applicable. We have different cases from different jurisdictions. We have a weigh-in from the Illinois Supreme Court. Ms. Smallwood is zeroing in on one case, People versus Gray from the first district. There are other cases from downstate, and the Richardson case, which
is he from another country? Maybe
how retroactive
ASA
retroactively applies on this type of scenario. And I agree it's fluid, and I actually wanted to take it under advisement. I did, and I had my law clerk Zipporah carefully at all the submissions from both sides, and she did, and she gave the conclusion of her research that on balance the proper application of the law would be to deny the motion. That the government's, I'll stand by the government's arguments and their submission. I find that looking at all of it in its totality, and I'm particularly mindful of the fact that Mr. Hawkins was tried as an adult on that prior robbery case, not as a juvenile, although he's, because of his age today, he might have been gone to juvenile court first. He was never treated as a juvenile in that case. It was always an adult conviction. In matter of fact, he supported more defensive rights in the adult court and more constitutional rights in the adult court than he would have got in juvenile court. So I think that what we consider will be respectfully denied. Now what do you want to do now, Ms. Smallwood?
Judge, I've already filed my answer. It was filed November 10th. I believe we're ready to set it on for jury. I had spoken about some dates with Jimmy, and I believe we were in agreement for a by agreement date of May 4th. If that looks like that.
Trial by jury. Let me just double check the book.
Judge Kim is stacking up. Plus, I want to keep an eye on 3B if he comes back.
As it relates to May 4th, and I had spoken to Ms. Smallwood about this, I just want to let everyone know that I imagine this would be done by Thursday, the 5th.
Oh, yeah.
It should be one day.
700.
Great.
May 4th, trial by jury. Mr. Okay, that's at 10 o'clock in the morning. Mr. Hawkins, I'm looking for you at courtroom 700, 10 o'clock in the morning on May 4th for a trial by jury.
Is Judge Simpson still on?
Thank you.
No, he's off right now.
All right, is there any other business to come before the court today? Stewart has nothing. Anybody else have anything?
I got Judge Kennedy.
All right.
Kennedy.
I mean, I want to make sure you have her number. You have it?
Yeah. I can look through my voicemail and.
Why don't you just give it to her again so we don't run into a problem where she can't find it?
Your Honor,
yeah.
I can call and leave her a message right now.
All right. She's going to call you and just leave a message, and then you can call her once we're finished here. Okay. Thank you, Ms. Smith. Appreciate it.
You're welcome, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. Turning our attention now. This is
They're just stacking up. I don't think they're live yet.
Mr. Johnson is charged with carrying a concealed weapon. Prosecutor has indicated that the copies of reports have been provided. Physical exhibits are available upon request.
I got them ready. We're just so you see, they're getting ready.
Jury trials requested on Ms. Johnson's behalf at this time. And
You're like a big
I
old
guess no
baby.
decision has been made on any motions yet. Hold on. I guess that's her call.
Somebody just dialed 555 guilty.
Come on into the courtroom.
I will BRB.
You do that. Don't forget today at what they mute them? Yeah, they muted everybody. Don't forget today at 4:05, we got a chase. We're going to be watching 2 chases today. It's a 2 for Tuesday. One chase out of Boston and a chase. I cannot remember off the top of my head. I want to say Texas. Those ears are great. And I love that they muted everything. That's also awesome.
Yes, Ms. Jessica?
off mute now. Great state of Michigan, by the way. If you haven't liked this already, please do so. We're just jumping from courtroom to courtroom.
Okay, man, if it's not Miss Smith, we can't really be taking phone calls in the courtroom.
I'm sorry. I'm selling stuff on Macari.
All right, so where are we, Mr. Feigelson? What's Mrs. Johnson's desire?
At this time, we wish to leave the matter set on for a final pretrial and proceed to trial in this case.
Okay, Ms. Wright, we need a final pretrial date. I guess the first available date.
May 17th at 2 p.m.
May 17th.
Okay.
We'll take it.
Okay, that also could be by Zoom, or if you want to come in directly, Ms. Johnson, you can.
I've never seen
That's
a
May 17th at 2.
yes.
You need to be made aware that I won't accept any pleas to reduce charges after that May 17th date, but there have not been any reduced charges offered here. So that's not on the table right now. But there has been a recommendation by the prosecutor that any jail time not exceed 30 days. So which means it could be anywhere between 0 and 30 days cap. That's known as a killable agreement. Mr. Feigelson could ask me what I sentence you to if you enter a plea to a certain set of charges. That's known as a Cobb's agreement. But I only participate in either one or both of those up through the end of the final pretrial conference on May 17th at 2. Understand? Any questions for me?
No.
Okay.
Just
So
gotta take
that'll
her
either
lunch.
be by Zoom, or if you want to come in like you did today, just let Mr. Feigelson know that's what you're going to do.
Would you have whipped off your
Ms.
Walmart
Johnson,
smock before court?
Sorry, Judge, I assume you're gonna want to be in person on the 17th?
Yes.
I'll make sure that I'm there as well, Judge.
Okay, all right. So that'd be in person, then we'll change it to in person. Prosecutor can still appear by Zoom. And so make sure you get in touch with Ms. Smith right away, man, and get signed up. All right?
Okay.
Okay. Thank you for coming in, appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, bye.
Zoom court is very convenient, and it allows dang, when they say bye, they mean bye. Jumping over here, Judge Porter is presiding. Creed, if you would take us off of mute, that'd be awesome. We're getting ready. Wow, they are filling up quick. He's giving instructions. If you've never watched us do these are juveniles that are going before. They have to see the judge every 10 days, 10 business days, that is. They decide if they're going to stay in the juvenile facility, if they're going to be moved on back to their parents, or if they're being placed in more suitable homes, we'll say. That's usually the plan with these guys. Like I said, it's Judge Porter, if he is moving on to just working with adults next year, he will be missed because he is a very good guy.
When you're brought into detention and initially detained, you must see a judge every 10 business days thereafter. This is your
Right on
You
time.
have the right to remain silent. You also have the right to an attorney, and your attorney, Lateef Adeniji, is here. Jamal, I'll make this easy. The court's previously found that probable cause exists to believe that you may have engaged in delinquent conduct. More specifically, I signed the directive to apprehend. It seems like more than a year ago. You've been on a abscond status forever. I'm going to find that if I were to release you, you would be a danger to the community and you would abscond from the jurisdiction. Accordingly, I will order that you be taken into custody and remain in detention until
This
your case is
Texas.
resolved. Thank you, sir. Try line. Thank you, Sheriff, for bringing this inmate.
All right, you're welcome.
Wow. Done and done with him.
I wonder how quick Judge Porter
Porter, the law says when you're brought into detention,
will transition
you must see a judge
into
every
a
10
different
business
court.
days thereafter. This is your 10-day hearing.
Gonna
You have
miss
the
it.
right to remain
Yeah,
silent. You also have
definitely.
the right to an attorney. And your attorney, Trent Lofton, is here. Good afternoon, Mr. Lofton. How are you?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. How are you?
Better than I deserve. All right, Trilon, the court has previously found that probable cause exists to believe that you may have engaged in delinquent conduct. more specifically that probable cause exists to believe that you may have engaged in either assault and or capital murder. You've been level 1-0 since March 18th. However, given the gravity of the underlying offense, a mere 4 days at level 1-0 is not enough to convince me that if I were to release you, you would not be a danger to the community. It takes longer than that on these types of charges. And so I'm going to order that you continue to be detained. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Lofton.
Capital murder.
Rolando.
That's like the second capital murder we've seen in this, Evans.
Good afternoon, Rolando. How are you?
Yes, sir.
Rolando, my name is Judge Porter. The law says when you're brought into detention
Exactly.
and initially detained, you must see a judge.
Yeah, that's what
Every 10
Middleton
business
was
days
talking
after
about
this
that,
is
how
your
they're going to
10-day
keep
hearing. You have the right to remain
a lot of
silent.
Zoom
You also
going,
have the right to an attorney, and your
which is
attorney,
great
Larry Beaver,
for
for
everybody.
stuff like
Good afternoon,
that.
Mr. Beaver, how are you?
Wonderful, Your Honor. Good to see you.
All right, Rolando, you've been level 1 outstanding since yesterday. You have a placement search pending, and you've got a hearing scheduled in front of me in May. You're here on looks like 3 felonies at least. So a day and a half at level 1-0. 3
See ya,
felonies,
bud.
which involves a gun
See you in 10 business
charge
days.
is not enough to convince me yet that if I were to
Oh.
release you, you wouldn't be a danger to the community.
I see a lot of people
So
quick
on that
here.
basis, I'm going to order that you continue to be detained. However, you need to maintain level 1-0 for me so that there come a tipping point where I will feel comfortable. You understand?
Sure.
Thank you, sir. That'll be the order of the court.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Beaver. Barron.
Not surprised.
Yay.
I think that one's a waiver, Judge.
Eric, remember, if you ever see something like that, try to timestamp it or
Good call on his part.
get us the link because these go away.
Yeah, we would love to see those kinds of things.
My man. Speaking of Texas,
on the beach, looking nice.
All right, Gracie.
My man.
Yes, sir.
There we go. Now I can see your face. They turned on the camera. Gracie.
F-Pod in the
Judge
house.
Porter, the law says when you're brought into detention and initially detained, you must see a judge every 10 business days thereafter. This is your 10-day hearing. You have the right to remain silent. You also have the right to an attorney. Your attorney, Raymond Daniel, is here. Good afternoon, Mr. Daniel. How are you?
Good afternoon. I'm fine, Judge. Good to see you again.
All right, Gracie, you've been level 1-0 for more than a month. However, in preparing for today's docket,
capital murder. The victim is a police officer, firefighter, paramedic, or similar public safety professional. Was killed on duty. Capital murder.
Yes, we do have a petition on file. I do not know why we don't have a court setting yet, Your Honor. I was going to try to I'll be out there tomorrow, and I was going to try to take care of that then.
Actually,
for sure.
I will get with Stephanie right now.
Okay.
And let's get
Is Raymond in the back of his town car? Is Ronnie driving him around?
2 days ago, so that's probably court days.
I popped in and out too. Ryan Hall is on right now too.
Not a problem.
So more bad weather.
Something about my client.
Yes, sir.
She has been in detention. I mean, she has been on level 1. I believe I've counted
That's a lot of work.
34 days now.
That's
on
pretty
level
close.
1. If you look at the report,
Attorney
although
Google.
this offense involved a gun, she was not
Google.
the one with the gun.
Yeah, but we treat parties just as the same.
I realize that. Yes, I understand that, Your Honor.
Plus, this is the Macy's case. I remember this.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But I believe after 34 days of being on level 1, she has
Level
shown
1-0
the
though?
court, I hope, that
I'm guessing.
she can behave appropriately. And I would ask that she be released to her mother with whom she lives. And Judge, if I could add to that,
He's
my
pushing.
understanding is,
Mhm.
although she has lived in Arlington, that the mother has moved or is moving
Hank Hill
to Burleson.
lives close
And
to
so
there.
she would be in a different environment from the one in which she was living when this event happened. And of course, we would ask for a no contact clause with the other party in this case.
Was she living with her dad, I'm guessing? Is that what we're saying?
And any other conditions that you would think would be appropriate, monitor, curfews, anything like that.
You know, since you're a judge and stuff, you can do that judgy stuff also if you'd like. It's okay.
34 days. That's a long time, but she was involved in something that, way. PP was involved, something to do with Macy's.
Okay, there is another paragraph.
I saw that.
Different offense in the offense report that links her to a separate deadly conduct allegation that occurred 10 days before the Macy's robbery. And that paragraph actually puts the gun in her hand as firing the weapon.
At least he's not driving.
So that definitely changes my calculus. Mr. Daniel,
Okay.
I'm inclined to agree with you as far as the Macy's, but for this additional information that she had the gun, plus also putting the dots together on the Macy's offense, it sure makes it sound like she knew before they ever went to Macy's. At least someone could jump to the conclusion that she knew the boyfriend was going to take the gun to Macy's.
Oh, good.
So,
did they not erase these?
Given the fact we have 2 different gun offenses within 11 days, that tells me that I'm just not yet convinced that she wouldn't be a danger. Let's go ahead and get Mom in place in the new city. Let Mom come in and tell me about the new environment, the new school, and then we'll evaluate that next time.
I was going to say, see, sometimes
continue to be detained, Gracie.
Sometimes the moms are
level
there
1-0, you're eventually going to reach that tipping point. We're just not there yet.
on Zoom, not
All right.
physically there.
Judge, did Macy's used to be Singer Harris?
34 days at level 1. I'm guessing
The
outstanding.
answer is yes.
Thank you. Excuse me.
No, that's she says that's Foley's. I'm not sure if Sanger Harris got wrapped into Bell's, that got wrapped into something else, that got wrapped into bankruptcy, but I don't know. All right. Are you Sonia? Yes, you are. I recognize you. Sonia, my name is Judge Porter. The law says when you're brought into detention and initially detained, you must see a judge every 10 business days thereafter. This is your 10-day hearing. You have the right to remain silent. You also
Anybody
have the right
notice
to
how
confront
big Cindy's
your
lamp
attorney
is? It's as big as her
Adeniji.
head.
Good afternoon, Mr.
It's pretty
Adeniji.
big.
How are you?
Afternoon, Judge.
All right, Sonia, the court has previously found that probable cause exists to believe that you may have engaged in delinquent conduct sufficient to warrant your initial detention. You're level 3 confined, so you know I'm not going to let you go.
Oh,
These are all heavy hitters right off the bat.
Yeah.
You may return to
Level
school.
3 confined.
All right,
She
Samuel.
could have just stayed there.
Samuel.
Good God.
Could have sent her a note.
Porter, the law says when you're brought into detention and initially detained,
Don't even
you
bother.
must see a judge every
Stay
10
where you're
business
at.
days thereafter. This is your 10-day hearing. You have the right to remain silent. You also have the right to an attorney. And I thought I saw your attorney. There's Mr.
Come on here.
Gladstone.
How are you, Judge?
Better than I deserve. How are you, Mr. Gladstone?
And Judge is fine.
All right, Samuel, the court
in
has
the
believe that you may have engaged in delinquent conduct sufficient to warrant your initial detention. Samuel, why are you level 2? Because you're disruptive in the shower and talking too much in the back.
Disruptive in the shower. That doesn't sound good at all.
All right. You know I can't let you go. You got to keep you here. Thank you, sir. Yes, sir. You may return to school.
Well, I know the site. Thank you for your help. Most of these, we have a thumb sucker up there, Lily.
Are you Sylvia?
Most of these are
Sylvia, my name is Judge Porter. The law
gone
says when
quick.
you're brought into detention and initially detained, you must see a judge every 10 business days thereafter. This is your 10-day hearing. You have the right to remain silent. You also have the right to an attorney. And I have not seen Mr. Adler here. He may be in court over in Dallas.
hanging out with his brother, Steven. They had a show last night.
Sylvia, I am not familiar with your case, so let me review the police report real quick. You're a 15-year-old young lady. Around February 27th, around 2:40 in the afternoon, Forward PD was dispatched to a flea market on Henderson Street regarding a robbery. They met with the victim who sells BB guns.
Oh,
who informed the officers that 2 teens, later identified as you and another young
we've seen-
person,
Yeah.
were looking at the seller's items.
Yes.
The seller recognized you, Sylvia, as having stolen from her booth a year ago. Sylvia grabbed 3 airsoft rifles and tried to leave, but the victim was able to stop you. Your compatriot then entered the booth and asked for an airsoft gun for $40. While the victim was distracted, You, Sylvia, allegedly came back, grabbed an air assault rifle, and then both of you ran from the booth. The victim tried to follow you to recover her property. When she approached you, you allegedly turned around and pointed a folding knife at her in an aggressive manner, placing her in fear of serious bodily injury. All right, I'll find the probable cause exists to believe that you may have engaged in delinquent conduct. You've been level 1-0 since the 8th. However, because this involves an alleged theft of an airsoft gun, and because it involves the alleged use of what might be considered or construed by fact finders a deadly weapon, 14 days at level 1-0, while impressive, is not yet enough. We've got too many weapons involved in this alleged robbery for me to feel comfortable letting you go. Plus, there's a whole thing that you were on probation 3 years ago by Judge Nolan for criminal mischief. So this ain't your first rodeo.
Good knife.
So on that basis, I'm going to order that you continue to be detained. Thank you, Sylvia. You may return to school.
Wow, they put them through school while they're in. I like
All right,
that.
Eric.
Yeah. At least they're getting something out
Eric,
of it.
my name is Judge Porter. The law says when you're brought into detention and initially detained, you must see a judge every 10 business days thereafter. This is your 10-day hearing. You have the right to remain silent. You also have the right to an attorney, and your attorney, Trent Lofton, is here. Good afternoon, Mr. Lofton. How are you?
I'm great, Your Honor. How are you?
Better than
Better than
deserved. All
deserved.
right,
Yeah, we
Eric,
got it. Go.
you're here on an aggravated robbery charge for which the court has previously found that probable cause exists to believe that you may have engaged in delinquent conduct. You've been level 1-0 for the last 2 days. However, let's see.
Yeah, Sylvia had a record already, so yeah,
Do you have
she's
a parent
not
or
going
guardian
anywhere.
here today?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Well,
She wanted to be here, but first day of new job.
supervisory caution. When you came in, you were positive for marijuana. All right, Eric. 2 days at level 1-0 on an aggravated robbery charge. I don't
See
feel
you later.
comfortable releasing you yet.
Can I buy some pot from you?
I'm going to order that you continue to be detained. You need to maintain level 1-0 consistently. All right. Once I'm convinced that you can follow the rules in detention, I feel more comfortable believing that you might follow the rules if I let you go home.
Not
Until
Emily's
you demonstrate
smoking.
that consistency, I'm not going to feel comfortable letting you go. You understand?
Stop that.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Larry Beaver, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Mr. Lofton. Marcus.
Emily looks like she's in prison.
Are you Marcus?
Yes, sir.
Marcus, my name is Judge Porter. The law says when you're brought into detention and initially detained, you must see a judge every 10 business days thereafter. This is your 10-day hearing. You have the right to remain silent. You also
Let's
have
have
the right to
fun.
return.
Changed his name to Keith
And
Daniels,
I'm
and
not
now
seeing
is
Brian Newman here this
a bunch of
afternoon.
books.
Keith Jack Daniels.
So I'm going to ask Mr. Daniels, another attorney who regularly represents kids in our court, to step in for Brian Newman. Good afternoon.
And potentially a
Daniels,
dad.
How are you?
JG.
I'm good. How are you, Judge Porter?
Better than I
Guess that
deserve.
isn't Latevi. Looks
All
just
right.
like him, doesn't he?
Marcus,
Mhm.
I don't
Stone
remember the
faced.
specific facts of your case. So I'm going to review it real quick. Back on January 18th, you were referred in custody for aggravated robbery, unlawfully carrying a weapon, unauthorized use of a motor vehicle, evading arrest or detention with a vehicle, and evading arrest or detention on foot. According to the police report on the 17th, around 10:30 at night,
paper
an
mill.
armed robbery in progress at Planet Fitness was called out in Arlington.
Yes, I remember this one.
Location to work
Out
out
in the parking lot.
Oh, now I remember this.
We do
Was
too,
on his phone for a
Judge.
moment inside his vehicle when suspect number one, you allegedly, Marcus, came up, pointed a gun at him through the side window. The victim exited his car and was told to run by you, Marcus, allegedly. Then both suspect number one and suspect number two entered the vehicle and drove off. All right. I'm gonna
If you think it's full here, look at this.
find
real
the
quick.
probable cause exists to believe that you may have engaged in delinquent conduct.
Damn, what do they got going
Marcus,
on?
You've been level 1-0 for almost.
I don't know. They're just getting
Let's
started.
watch one or two more of these. We'll jump.
Yeah.
over. Unless it's
remember Mom and Dad's
CPS or
face.
something.
I don't think so.
Mom and Dad, remind me where he got the gun.
I'm assuming it was some friends, like I said, because it sure.
Some of his badass friends.
He just got caught up.
He
into,
he
you know,
robbed a guy
you know,
leaving
wrong
Planet
friends at
Fitness.
the time, I guess. So
Just a
but
terrible, terrible
like I
place to
said
rob
again,
somebody.
we are sure that that won't ever happen again.
And remind me again why he was out at 10:30 at night.
Trying to work out.
Getting his fit on.
He normally walked to the store with his brothers, so I assumed that that's what he was doing. But at the time, I was out of town, so
Mom's away. The cats
he
will
was supposed to
play.
be on his way home because I kept texting him like I was telling him it was a school night. Get home.
You had to go get some vape juice, Your Honor.
Why was he out at 10:30 at night on a Tuesday?
That was I thought that wasn't a Tuesday. That was a Monday. I thought it was a
Uh,
Monday. They had
same
been
day.
out of school that day.
The 18th was a Tuesday.
Well,
The
I thought it
18th
was a
of
Monday.
January was a Tuesday this year.
Uh-oh.
Well, he wasn't supposed to be out. I'll tell you that much. Because, like I said, he has older brothers that
She want to know why. He wants to know why was he
Okay.
be out.
So Mom, you were actually
Maybe went
correct.
to the
He was
store.
brought in
Yeah,
that
on the
Tuesday.
18th.
The Monday evening was the 17th, so that was a Monday. However, that was still a school night, Mom. So your original
I agree.
point.
I agree. And he was supposed to have been on, like I said, on his way home. I was texting him, telling him get
There's
home
a ghost
tonight,
next to
take
Sin.
trash out, and get in bed.
Where? Oh yeah.
So, next question: where's he getting the marijuana?
His friends.
That's probably a friend thing. I don't know.
From the guy at Planet Fitness.
Hanging out, not in the house. That's a friend.
Maybe
thing.
his older brothers that we keep referring to.
Could I buy some pot from you?
And could I say something, Judge?
Yes, sir.
He's been level 1 since he's been in there, and he's had appointments back and forth. I think 2 appointments, 3 appointments, and that kind of broke it up to where it looks like he's not been level 1 the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
But
damn, I love having you here, effing lawyer.
Yeah, my new fan.
He's been level 1 the whole time.
Appreciate you.
Okay. Dad,
Yes, sir.
I appreciate you trying to make a good case for your son,
He's trying.
but at the same time, on Monday the 17th, would you consider his behavior level 1 on that night?
Of course not, Judge, but
And how do you think the victim feels when Marcus reached through the side window and pointed a gun at the victim?
I understand that, Judge. Understand that.
Yeah, that's understandable. And he should have been out. But again, that's the ball dropped on the parents. But as parents, we will no longer drop that ball where he would be out on a school night.
Give him too much rope when he hung himself.
And before this judge, there was no problem with Marcus.
Right.
At school, at home, around other grown folks, around kids, anybody. You know, he's always been a good kid.
What are his grades like?
Catch me outside. How about that?
And what are the numbers?
A's,
70.
and a couple C's.
Because of course he gets for making A's like his uncles always.
I don't care about the uncles. I care what are the numbers? What are the C's in? What classes?
Art.
Okay, what are the B's in?
PE.
He's in math, English.
Okay, which math class?
I'm not sure what math he takes.
Business math.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking, Mom. Do you know what math class he's in?
Counting ounces. Graham.
Okay.
Mikey math.
What are the A's in?
The A's, of course, PE.
I was half right.
Like I said, PE. For participating.
A hell of a dodgeball.
Also has an electrical class. He has an A in. But all of his core classes pretty much B's.
Spanish.
C, that's the C in Spanish.
C.
How many days of school has he missed? Did he miss in the fall semester?
Never did
beginning
ask.
of school?
Correct. The fall semester. How many days of school?
He
did
missed a couple of days because he was sick.
22.
Maybe 2-3 days because he was sick.
They trying their hardest to get him out.
Ms. Rojas, were you able to get Mr. Hall's school records?
No, Your Honor, we haven't received anything from Sam Houston yet.
Okay.
He was upset 9 times. Mrs. Bueller. I mean, AMPE don't take the pew-pew out of his hand at the Planet Fitness. He shouldn't have been. I mean, I don't know. I was a strict parent. I did let my kids out those hours, and they didn't want to be out those hours.
Marcus, I'm going to give you a chance, not because you deserve it, but because I believe in your parents.
Ooh.
I'm going to release you on the electronic monitor. Ms. Rojas, the
Effing
only
lawyer.
exceptions for that electronic
There you go.
monitor
What you just said about the
are
parents.
for school,
Shows.
verified
Helps.
medical appointments, at least for now. If he wants to go to church, he's going to have to do it at home online. He is to have no contact with the correspondence, and
wow,
he's not allowed to leave the house except
Kim
for
would have never.
school.
I don't think so. Yeah,
Otherwise,
No,
I
I
want him
agree.
inside your house. I want y'all to have eyes on him.
He got
and,
lucky.
and additionally,
here.
he's to have no visitors that are not members of your family.
Was it Dad that won him over, you think?
Unless a teacher or a principal wants to come over and
Yeah.
check on that, or coach. I'm okay with that.
And both of them being there.
But
Yeah.
no friends over. We don't know where he's getting the drugs. So,
And my wife doesn't work, sir, so she'll be home all day.
okay.
It was slightly rude.
Good for her.
A little bit rude. What about at 10:30 at night
That
when
means
she's
when
out of
he
town
wants to
again at the
walk to
casino?
store to get a snack because he's going stir crazy. What's the answer, Mom?
No.
Correct.
I will get all the snacks. I will do all the shopping.
Don't be letting him out walking with his
When he
older
wants to go
brother.
to the store
Oh,
with you 'cause he's stir
hell
crazy.
no.
No.
Correct.
Oh, hell no. Oh,
And when he wants to
hell
get his
no.
friend to bring him his homework to his house.
Absolutely not. He don't need any friends bringing homework. God, we will get.
Oh,
all that.
hell
Okay?
no.
And so when, Mom, are you free to pick him up from school and drop him off from school?
Yes, sir.
Oh,
If you don't
hell
mind,
no.
I appreciate you doing that. And
He needs to be on online
parent-
school. He doesn't need to be at school
I'm
at
not
all.
a parent, but
Yeah, good point.
if I was, I'd be searching his bag before and after he got in and out of the car.
Strip
That's
search.
just me. Food for thought.
Right. That's good food for thought.
Make him empty his pockets on the trunk of the car, roll down his socks, empty out his shoes, shake it out, make sure there's not marijuana in there or
Get your hands right up in there, you know.
Really get in there.
Okay.
Make him squat and cough once.
All right. That'll be
Boy, that escalated quickly.
I can't believe he's getting out, man. That's crazy.
No, I was surprised. I mean, that's good to see. I think
again, though, Judge Kim was there. I'd bet $100 he wouldn't let him out.
because he was not. He changed his mind midway through.
He'd already said no.
Oh yeah.
Christopher. Are you Christopher?
Yes, sir.
Christopher, my name is Judge Porter.
Christopher went to the Bishop School broadcasting.
And initially detained. You
Yeah, he
must see a
did.
judge every 10 business days thereafter. This is your 10-day hearing. You have the right to remain silent. You also have the right to an attorney, and your attorney, Brian Willis. Oh, I'm sorry. Your attorney is Anthony Green, and he could not be here today.
I'm here, Your Honor.
Oh, there you are, Mr. Green.
Yeah.
Thanks,
We're
Mr.
done with
Green.
the trial. We're done.
Okay.
Get the tie loose, bud.
You're on parole from TJJD. You have a new felony offense, so you know I can't let you go, okay? They've got a hold. TJJD has a hold on you.
And Your Honor, just so you're aware, Ms. Deno checked, she's reported to us that the parole board is going to withdraw their blue warrant on him or not go forward. And we're sending
court, I believe, in a week on this case now.
You're correct. It's Wednesday of next week, and it will be in front of me.
Oh, and what?
Wait, Christopher, I see your hand is
Don't
raised.
say anything, Christopher.
Do you want to ask me or your attorney a question?
I need to ask you, sir.
Okay, is it really a question, Christopher?
Yes, sir.
What is your question?
So, do y'all know if I will be going back to TJ or no?
That has not been determined. We'll have a hearing next week, and we'll see what happens at that hearing next week. Okay.
All right.
All right. Thank you. That'll be the order of the court. Thank you, Mr. Green.
Let's jump over and see what you got
All right, Angel.
going on over here, if you don't mind.
Yeah,
as we get
The
close to
26th,
wrapping it up.
April 26th at 1:30.
Got a lot of people coming in and
Okay.
out.
Thank you. And the next case I have, Your Honor, is number 1 through 3, Christina Cantu.
Whoa.
Okay.
Damn.
CR 21-13255-I, CR 20-09364-I, CR 20-1194-I. And for some reason, the female, she was released.
She bonded out recently, Your Honor.
Okay, Christina Cantu, are you present?
Yes, sir.
Okay, go ahead, Counselor. What is your announcement?
Judge, we had earlier withdrawn on these cases, but the family has rehired us, and I'm asking for some time to obtain discovery in the 21 case and begin working the cases up.
Okay, so she's set for arraignment today,
I think so, Your Honor.
and is she also set for a reduction of, well, that's a moot point, isn't it? Your
Right,
motion?
she bonded out.
All right. Okay, Ms. Cantu, please raise your right hand. Do you swear that the testimony that you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Where is this?
Yes, Your Honor. All right.
Texas.
In CR 21-13255-I, CR 20-09364-I, and CR 21-1194-I is your true and correct name, Christina Lorraine, Lorraine Cantu.
See.
Yes.
Okay, you're being charged with assault causing bodily injury on a family member, a Class A misdemeanor, burglary of vehicles, a Class A misdemeanor, and theft of property greater or equal to $100 but less than $750, a Class B misdemeanor. A Class A misdemeanor carries a range of punishment of up to 1 year in Hidalgo County Jail and up to a $4,000 fine upon conviction. A Class B misdemeanor carries a potential penalty of up to 6 months in Hidalgo County Jail and up to a $2,000 fine upon conviction. Do you understand the range of punishment that you can receive for the offenses of which you are charged, ma'am?
Yes, I do.
And has any court ever declared you to be mentally incompetent, crazy, or insane?
No.
Crazy.
Mr. Kennedy, in
technical
speaking
term?
with your client, do you find her to be mentally competent and able to assist you in her own defense?
Yes.
And
Great.
therefore, the court will find that she is competent, able to assist you in her own defense, and enters a plea of not guilty on each of these counts. All right, and how much time are you asking for?
We have 30 days, Your Honor.
Yeah.
Okay, the soonest I have, May 17th at 9:30.
Okay.
We'll take it.
Thank you, Judge.
Double up.
Okay, anything else?
That's all I have this afternoon, Your Honor. You and
Okay,
your staff
thank
have a good day.
Thank you, likewise.
Have you ever been told you're crazy?
All right, before I take up the pleas, any other quick announcements?
Yes, Your Honor.
Go ahead.
If the court could call Carlos Herrera for victim testimony, he's there on Zoom.
Oh, that's
Okay.
Carlos.
Mr. Damian, please call out Carlos Herrera.
Mr. Carlos Herrera, can
Sí.
you help yourself?
There's my Spanish
Okay.
cousin, Tony.
Ms. Castaneda, please tell him to raise his right hand.
Por favor, levanta su mano derecha.
Do you swear that the testimony that you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Jura que el testimonio que está a punto de dar es la verdad, toda la verdad y nada más que la verdad.
Sí.
Yes.
Okay, we are back on the record on
Hidalgo County.
1053885-I, State of Texas versus Ismael Moreno. Mr. Lozano, you may proceed.
Good afternoon. Could you please state your full name for the record?
Por favor, ¿puede decir su nombre completo?
Carlos Heriberto Herrera García.
Carlos Heriberto Herrera García.
And what is your relationship with Ismael Moreno?
¿Y qué es su relación con Ismael Moreno?
Ahorita nada.
Right now, nothing.
Can you tell me what occurred on or about May 17th, 2021?
No relationship.
¿Nos puede decir qué ocurrió en la fecha de 17 de mayo del 2021?
Tuvimos un enfrentamiento los dos.
We had a confrontation, both of us.
And did he hit you with his hand?
¿Y él le pegó con la mano?
Let's do this.
Brianna Cutting.
As we wrap up.
1076, you charged.
Is our buddy here?
Amphetamine with intent to sell or deliver. That's punishable by up to 15 years in prison and a $10,000 fine. You're also charged with possession of drug paraphernalia. Punishable by up to 1 year and $1,000. You have the right to remain silent. Should you give up that right?
TK, I'm the same with the interpreter. I don't know why it makes me nuts watching anyone with an interpreter.
If you would like the public defender to be appointed, raise your right hand and be sworn, please. Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
What kind of job you had lately?
Thank you. You can put your hand down.
Do you own a boat or an airplane?
Or any other source of income.
Do you want
For a resident here in Panama City?
you want to hang out for a little bit longer, or
Oh yeah, I got
you got some time too?
Okay, so
yeah,
how much
I'll go
money
do
do you
another
make?
15, 20.
All right, I'm gonna
I make
BRB and we'll
$200 a week,
go into overtime for a little bit.
Okay.
and then live for free.
Do you have a car, truck, boat, plane, motorcycle?
I do not. I was actually shopping for one when I was pulled over.
I'm shopping for a boat
And
right
or
now.
Real estate, any property that you own.
No, I just lost it in a divorce 2 months ago.
Oh,
We'll appoint
congrats.
the defender's office to represent you. Is there anything on this
So what
cutting?
you're saying is you're
criminal
single.
traffic?
No, sir.
Ma'am, how long have you lived in Bay County?
About a year, a little bit over.
Where'd you move here from?
Pensacola or Cantonment, which is in the Pensacola area.
All right. You bond on this possession with intent is $5,000. Pretrial release program, not any additional bond on the paraphernalia. Should you make bond, you'll report to the pretrial release office 9 the next business day. Submit the random urinalysis at your own expense. Court date is May the 2nd at 9 a.m. Take care.
All right, step on the T. When the green light comes on, sign next.
$5,000.
Red X, ma'am. HTV. Here you go. State your name.
Hello, Carol Jean Tatum, case number 22-1077. You're charged with battery. That's punishable by up to 1 year, $1,000. You're also charged with false imprisonment.
I don't even know.
That's punishable by up to 5 years, $5,000. You have the right to remain silent. Should you give up that right, anything you say can be used against you. You have the right to an attorney and to have one appointed for you if you cannot afford one.
Battery and false imprisonment.
If you would like the public defender to be appointed, raise your right hand and be sworn, please.
Because I worry about my
Swear to
finger.
tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. You can put your hand down. When's the last time that you had a job or any other source of income?
It's been a while. I get a widow's pension, Your Honor.
Okay. And how much money do you get in a pension?
I get over $1,000.
$1,000 a month?
Hallelujah, Sarge. Thank you.
Okay. How much over $1,000?
Like $1,200 is what I receive.
Okay. Do you have a car, truck, boat, plane, motorcycle?
I have a car, sir.
Tell me
I
about your
live
car. What year is it? What kind of car is it?
False imprisonment.
to my state.
Ooh,
Do you
nice.
own any land or property, any real estate?
No.
All right. Public defender's appointed to represent you, sir. Did you want to say something about Ms. Tatum?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you tell me who you are? Okay.
This whole incident is we heard about you for medicine.
Uh-huh.
So I expressed thoroughly last night that she needed to go to the mental hospital. If it wasn't just herself leveled back out, and because she's the greatest woman I've ever known when she's taking her medicine.
She's gone off her meds.
Well, of course, she told the police that she had been taking her medication. Do you want to have contact with her, Mr. Slater? Do you have your ID? Yes, please.
She's crying up a storm.
I love him and I would never cause harm upon him, Your Honor. I didn't mean to.
Assault and false imprisonment.
Okay.
So
be quiet. Thank you.
Okay, shut up. Thank you, Judge, for telling her what we all wanted to say. Be quiet.
Ma'am, I am going to release you on the pretrial release program. You need to come down here to the courthouse tomorrow by 9 a.m. and check in. You may have peaceful contact with Mr. Slater.
Mr. Slater.
You have a prescription for the medication that
Good for Mr. Slater coming out here and speaking on her behalf. Or she'd still be sitting there.
Okay, so I'm going to order you to take all prescribed medications. Court date is April the 18th at 9 o'clock. Do you have any questions?
I got you on that one, Jules. Yeah, I mean, it does come in handy,
Right,
right?
tea on the floor. When the light comes on, sign.
She should get out sometime today.
That really helped.
With
with
it,
him
ma'am.
coming in.
State your name.
Call Mr. Slater when you're ready, Miss Tatum.
Well, it worked, huh?
Well, it helped too that the guy she's accused of assaulting was there vouching for.
Stephanie Norcutt, case number 2210.
Pro move.
Charged with possession of methamphetamine. Punishable by 5 years, $5,000. Also possession of a pipe. Paraphernalia, punishable by 1 year, $1,000. You have the right to remain silent. Should you give up that right, anything you say can be used against you. You have the right to an attorney and to have one appointed.
Aren't the ones that
You cannot afford one. If you
So the ones that are in pink are real bad, right?
raise your right hand and be sworn.
I don't know. I think just the size of them, maybe. I don't know.
Paper in your other hand for me. Thank you. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, it is.
Thank you. Put your hand down. When's the last time that you had a job or any other source of income?
I have a job now.
You do? What is it that you do now?
I do accounting, work for Thomas Reuters at home. It's a work at home job.
Hey, Louisiana Dub.
Okay, I couldn't really catch what you were saying. There was noise going on. Try it again.
I work at home.
I got work at home, but what is it you do at home?
Accounting. I do taxes.
Accounting. Okay, and how much did you make?
Be quiet.
Last month, probably about $2,000.
Not bad.
Do you have any dependents, any children that live at home that count on you for their support?
No, sir.
Not enough to keep up meth, though.
Wrong.
I think there's
Do you own any land or property?
something like that.
No, sir.
Well, see, we had the lady in pink that beat up her husband.
Plane, motorcycle.
I do own a vehicle. It's a
Okay, tell me
2007
about it.
2007 Toyota 4Runner.
Jules at the paper factory.
Nice.
Yes, sir.
All right, and you did say 2,000 a month, right? Not 2,000 a week.
No, a month.
Okay.
Oh.
I will find that you do qualify for the services of the public defender and appoint that office to represent you. Is there any kind of criminal history on Miss Northcutt?
Meth paraphernalia 18, VOPs 19, and 3 old DUIs and LSRs.
I will say this: meth does not discriminate. From watching these people, meth is just everywhere, every walk of life.
I watched an older lady today on a parole, the parole board, and she looked like an old granny, and she had a bunch of meth convictions. My jaw dropped.
It's ridiculous.
It's true. It's true.
It's random urinalysis. Your court date's April.
Must be we're missing out on something really good.
I don't know.
You're right to the T. When the
77.
light come on, sign
I look
next.
terrible in stripes, so I'm gonna keep away from it.
And Your Honor, this next defendant, I was not able to get an amended complaint in time, so we understand
Okay.
the ROR.
By the way, where the hell is Floyd?
You're released on your own.
Yeah, why isn't Floyd here?
Recognizance. You'll come back on April the 18th at 9:00. You come back. The court, I'm just giving you a heads up that you need to be able to give.
She's got nice hair.
If the next one is not MILF, math,
I'll remind
then
you of what I told you yesterday. You
I'm
have the
really
right
going to be
remain
surprised.
silent. Should you give up that right, anything you say can be used against you. You have the right to an attorney and to have one appointed for you if you cannot afford one. Your last income was a month ago when you were making $3,000 a month. I'm going to find at this point you do not qualify for the services of the public defender. Take care, ma'am.
All right, step to your right to the T. When the light comes on, sign. Next.
Interesting.
I like that.
Give me just a second.
She's a bouncer.
Come on, man.
Next. State your name.
I never realized how tall that woman is.
What did you say your name again?
Delana Hay.
Delana Hay. You have a warrant out of Calhoun County for trafficking. And I wasn't sure your case number is. Warrant number is 21499. You'll be held with bond. We'll give Calhoun County until a week from yesterday, which was March 28th, to come pick you up. If they haven't, you'll be brought back in front of the court to find out what's going on with your case. You have the right to remain silent. Should you give up that right, anything you say can be used against you. You have the right to an attorney and to have one appointed for you if you cannot afford one. When you get over there to Calhoun County, you should see either Judge Grover or Judge Young.
Yeah, seriously, effing lawyer. Thank
And
you for today. It's
ask one of them for a lawyer. If you qualify, one will be appointed to represent.
awesome having you around.
Step to your right to the T. Next.
Next.
Trafficking.
Gaudette. Come on in. Red X. State TV and state your name.
Michael Gaudette.
Hello, Michael Gaudette, case number 215560, you're charged with trespass. That's punishable by up to a year in jail and $1,000 fine. You have the right to remain silent. Should you give up that right, anything you say can be used against you.
He's got to let him go.
You have the right to an
No
attorney
bond,
and
right?
have one appointed for you if you cannot afford one.
Trespass.
The state of Florida
Yeah.
will give you a plea offer to plead to
One would
12 months
think.
probation. If you're interested in that, we can go through that if you want to think about it until tomorrow when you go see Judge Dyer. That may not be a bad idea either. If you want the public defender, though, raise your right hand and be sworn. Do you want? You don't want the public defender, or you do?
Yeah, I guess I'll take it.
I did not,
Raise
Nathan.
your right hand. Let me ask you some questions under oath. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
There's not
Yeah,
video. It
we're-
didn't happen.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Down. When's the last time that you had a job or any other source of income?
Been about a week.
Oh,
Okay, what
how
were you doing a
convenient.
week ago?
Building fence.
Building a fence.
How much would you say you made in February?
Oh, Jules. Same here.
Ain't nothing, but-
Oh, you wouldn't think so, yeah.
Because it's
Most
a
good
great,
jobs aren't.
great paying job.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a car, truck, boat, plane, motorcycle?
All of it.
No.
You own any
Yeah.
private
Big deep
real
breath.
estate?
Yes.
Okay, what do you own? What real estate do you own?
Oh,
An
is
acre.
Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
that where your trailer's parked down?
I'll find that you do qualify for the services of the public defender.
You live an
I
acre.
don't hear from many property owners in here.
I forgot to tell you, it was in the middle of Manhattan.
If you violate your probation, you would get up to 364 days in jail.
Yeah, no, sir. I just come in here for this charge like
Yeah, we know what you're here for, bud.
a month ago or something like that, you know? And they
right.
dismissed it.
Your bond.
He's already been here once for the same
I found
charge.
on Mr. Gaudette was when he got time served for meth, November of 20. Is there anything else since then?
No, sir.
Sir, your bond said.
What's he doing with his arm?
Dates tomorrow. No contact with Barbara Maranzano. Also stay away from 18906 Westchester Road in Fountain. Take care, sir.
He was doing something weird with his arm twice.
I saw that.
She'll tell you when it's time for your copies.
Weird arm.
No, I'll have to look, Nathan.
State your name, sir.
Tyler Walsh, case number 22-1080. You're charged with grand theft and criminal mischief. Each one of those is punishable by up to 5 years, $5,000. You have the right to remain silent. Should you give up that right, anything you say can be used against you. You have the right to an attorney and to have one appointed for you if you cannot afford one. You already have a lawyer on that other case that you have?
Yes, sir.
Is it the public defender?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Would you like the public defender to be appointed in this case, Mr. Walsh?
Yes, sir.
Public defender's appointed. Did you want to say something, ma'am?
I'm just here. I'm Tyler's mother.
Okay.
Moral support.
All right. So you got a $5,000 bond pending in 22-791, right? Is that what your bond is on that case?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm going to make your bond on this case an additional
Yeah, she's always
$5,000
jittery like Emily.
per count, no contact with the victim in any matter except through
I miss
pre-trial
Floyd.
discovery. Your date is May the 9th at 9 a.m. Take care, sir.
I think he thought mom was going to show up and it was going to help a little bit, but I guess it didn't.
It's like you introduced yourself.
Look at this guy. Yeah.
You know that. Thank you for
Sauntering his way up.
Thank you.
Next contestant.
It takes me a minute to scramble for the paperwork, but that's okay. Number 14.
Yes, sir.
What's your name, sir?
Name's Anthony Taylor, Mr. Grammar.
What's your name, scumbag?
Once or twice.
Uh-huh. This one says that you had some methamphetamine on you while you're in the jail. An additional $5,000 bond. You have the right to remain silent. Should you give up that right, anything you say can be used against you. You have the right to have one appointed for you. You cannot afford one.
You stupid.
What's that?
What's the name of the charge?
Possession of contraband in the jail.
That's way worse when it makes it to the
I've got
jail.
a question, Mr. Grammar. Is there any way that I can challenge the probable cause based off the affidavit? that-
Absolutely. There is.
All righty. I've got a
Absolutely
question,
there
Mr.
is.
Grammar.
Floyd!
We're not going to do it today.
Cause based off the affidavit. that is-
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I've already found based on
But
today's
we're not gonna do it
affidavit,
today.
there is probable cause, but you
I've
can
already
challenge
found
that
based
in
on
a motion.
Affidavit, there is probable cause, but you can challenge that.
Floyd, turn it down.
I couldn't hear what he said.
That was Floyd.
Shut
up! Yeah, I could barely hear it either.
Floyd.
All right, let's hang up and try. We're going to hang up and try to.
It's Floyd. Don't hang.
Try again.
Turn it down, Floyd.
Dial back in.
It's Floyd's fault. Damn it, Floyd.
Damn it, Floyd.
Floyd messing up the program.
Floyd, I think I
Wait,
Floyd,
go ahead.
I think you need to mute your mic. Thank you.
Floyd.
Okay.
Oh, hey, now we're reversed.
All right.
Now he's the judge.
Probable cause today to proceed, and then you can challenge by way of motion the
Damn it,
probable cause of the
Floyd.
basis for the arrest. I'm just trying to find out now whether you have a lawyer to represent you. It looks like on your misdemeanor cases, you are still representing yourself.
No, sir. I've got the public defender's office in my felony charge and this other thing, but it's you know the affidavit says all the stuff was found in cell 8. My cell was cell 34, and this is like 3 weeks ago. And they're just now bringing me to first appearance. That's why I asked if I could challenge probable cause, because it was found in an empty cell and in a quarantine. Sir.
I'm just reading what it is. I find there is probable cause to proceed, and your court date is May 2nd at 9 a.m. Take care.
In other words, I don't believe a damn word coming out your mouth.
Yeah.
Step over.
Connor,
Next.
you can tell by the cut of my jib I'm a good guy.
Name.
Dominic, case number 22-1079. You're charged with battery on a law enforcement officer. That's punishable by up to 5 years, $5,000. You're also charged with disorderly intoxication.
I prefer
punishable by
men.
Up to 60 days and $500. You have the right to remain silent. Should you give up that right, anything you say can be used against you. You have the right to an attorney and to have one appointed for you. If you cannot afford one, the information you provided says that you want to represent yourself or hire private counsel.
Swing it a bit.
If that's incorrect, you can discuss that later with the circuit court judge on May the 2nd at 9 a.m.
In other words, not my problem.
On Mr. Don.
You have a DUI in 21, possession of a weapon while under the influence in an open container.
Mr. Donnelly, are you on probation or any other kind of supervision for any of those offenses?
Yes, sir. I'm on
Okay,
probation.
where are you on probation in Tennessee?
Yes, sir.
Hey, boner.
Do you have any ties to Bay County whatsoever?
No, sir.
Okay, have a seat.
Your bond on battery on a law enforcement officer is going to be $10,000. Your bond on the disorderly intoxication is going to be $500. Should you make
Love
bond,
it.
you report to the pretrial release office by 9 the next business day. Shall not possess or consume any alcoholic beverages. Stay away from Coyote Ugly. Your court date's May 2nd at 9 o'clock.
Coyote Ugly. Where's is
All
that?
right, sir, step over to
I
the
gotta
table. Next. FedEx, sir, state your name.
Hello, sir. Mr. Schwartzer, case number 20.
Are they seeing people
Coyote
on
Ugly.
bikes?
This is a failing to appear warrant
Basketball player.
from April of
Yeah, the Coyote
2021.
Ugly.
Battery and resisting each one of those cases is punishable by up to 1 year and $1,000. You have the right to remain silent. Should you give up that right, anything you say can be used against you. You have the right to an attorney and to have one appointed for you if you cannot afford one. Do you have a lawyer on some other pending case?
I have a question.
Oh, hell.
Do you have a lawyer on some other pending case?
No, sir.
Okay. Do you have another pending? Yes, you have a felony case, 587.
Yeah, and I got.
And you do
I
have
got
a public
released.
defender in that case. So would you like?
Thank you, Vinny.
You did.
Appreciate it.
That was just yesterday. Would you like a public defender on this case?
The same one, yes, sir.
Well,
Yeah.
you get the same one. You get the same public defender.
They're getting loud out there. She's going to yell at him.
Him to
Uh-huh.
decide who actually ended that case.
I'd like to get the
Your
same
date
one.
It'll be April the 14th at 8:30.
She is really good at her job.
What's your question?
Like
Proficient.
really good.
I got released yesterday on all these other charges.
Yeah, you did. You failed to appear on my battery and resisting an officer, so I'm setting you for trial management on April 14th. Take care.
Step to the T. I mean, step over to the desk.
Oh, I just gave you a compliment. Now you're screwing up.
Next.
I like that he let him go, but he didn't appear back at 9 a.m. this morning,
Yeah.
so they had to arrest his ass.
You have 3 cases,
Yeah.
22, 12, 94,
Got him pretty quick, huh?
96. You're charged with 2 counts of assault, each punishable by up to 60 days.
We'll watch this one and one more, and then we got a
Felon
jet.
as charged. You have the right to remain silent. Should you give up that right, and you say it's against you, you have the right to an attorney and to have one appointed for you. If you cannot afford one, Mr. Marlowe, if you'd like a lawyer, raise your right hand and be sworn, please. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. You can put your hand down. When's the last time that you had a job or any other source of income?
About 2 weeks ago,
What were you doing 2 weeks ago?
I was working valet in Seaside.
Hey, Jim.
All right. Do you have a car, truck, boat?
An effing lawyer. I've heard that explained to people that people don't understand
What
that
year is it? What kind of
you
car
can
is it?
always switch if you need to.
Black Volkswagen Passat.
That's worth at least 500.
Do you own any land, property, any real estate?
No, sir.
I am going to find qualify and appoint the public defender's office to represent you. I'm showing you're only 18. Is that right?
Oh, no.
Yes, sir.
How long have you lived in Bay County?
About 7 years.
Do you have family here?
Yes, sir. My mom.
Do you live with her?
Yes, sir.
Corporal Fambro, is there any kind of criminal history on Mr. Marlowe?
No, sir.
Mr. Marlowe, we're going to release you on pretrial release. Come to court tomorrow.
Better than
morning,
smearing other
8:30.
things.
Don't be late. If you haven't resolved the case by the end of court, you'll check in with pretrial release. On the second floor, no contact with the victim in any manner except through proper pretrial discovery. And since she lives in Missouri, it's probably going to be easy for you not to have any contact. Take care, sir.
Your Honor, it's Missouri.
Step over to the table.
Well,
Next,
Last one of the day.
18 years old messing up like
state
that.
your name.
Hey, at least he didn't have a whole other
Case number 22,
record already.
Yeah.
1081, you're charged with fleeing or attempting to elude. That's punishable by up to 5 years.
Ooh, we had a
$5,000,
chase.
And also driving without a license, which is punishable by 60 days and $500. You have the right to remain silent. Should you give up that right, anything you say can be used against you. You have the right to an attorney and to have one appointed for you if you cannot afford one. If you want the public defender, raise your right hand and be sworn, please.
I like that.
You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. You can put your hand down. When's the last time that you had a job or any other source of income?
I just got out of prison there in February, and I do odd jobs and stuff around the beach, but I work at Waffle House. It's been a while. I can't really remember when.
Jesus.
But I'm just homeless. I was driving my friend's car and they got me. I got scared.
Hold on. Don't say anything. Just remember, I just advised you to remain silent. Now you're saying stuff on the record.
You're incriminating yourself.
So you don't have a car. Do you own any land or property in real estate?
He's homeless, Your Honor.
No, sir.
Public defenders appointed.
But
to
works at
represent you.
Waffle
Okay.
House, but does
On the
odd
no
jobs.
valid
I'm
driver's
confused.
license, your bond's 500. On the fleeing or attempting to elude, your bond's 5,000. Your court date is May the 2nd at 9 a.m. Take care, sir.
But
I
yet
do
works
odd
at,
things, you know,
but
weird
yet
stuff.
works at the Waffle House. I don't know.
I do weird things at the beach, Your Honor.
He just tried to escape too. Wait, we got to hear Shorty.
Okay, sir, you're here in case number 23403. You are sentenced to 30 days in jail with credit for zero. You may be released anytime upon the payment of $500. Take care, sir.
Wow.
Wow.
Beside him.
That's
We stayed around for that.
that's a great one to say. You want to just sit there for 30 days or just give me 500? You're out.
Give me 500 bucks.
That is it. Our extended version today went into overtime with We Got a Case. Appreciate each and every one of you. Please, if you forgot or didn't yet, please like on your way out. If you're new here, subscribe, notifications on. We'll be back again for We Got a Case tomorrow, 1 p.m. East. Live, jumping back and forth just like we did today. Effing Lawyer, great to meet you. Appreciate you being around. Listen, you are welcome anytime. Love all the extra stuff that, again, we know nothing about. Nothing.
We're learning on the job, actually. So
coming up next, 405 East. Is it a true 2 for Tuesday? Or?
it is a 2 for Tuesday, Creed. One from Boston, and I think the other one's from Texas. I think. Don't hold me to that. We're going to get on out of here. You heard all the stuff Creed said a while ago, so do that. And until next time, Robert, thank you for the stars today. Effing Lawyer,
Yes.
good to see you. Nice
Thank you
to
for
meet
all the likes, the comments, and all of that. Always appreciate that. Jeanette holding things down over on the Facebook, where we learned today that it's Facebook friends that get you into the drugs. We got a chase coming up next at 405 East, 105 Pacific. We'll see you then. Appreciate you guys. And yeah.
Until next time, please remember.